always something to those stereotypes, but there's usually a lot more than meets the eye with the sign. So I think there'll be a little bit more to the sign of Virgo that you'll hopefully come to appreciate in today's talk. Let me I've got a little presentation I'm going to put up on the screen. Here we go. And I'm going to put this presentation into full screen mode so that you can see it. Okay. So the moon in Virgo, what can we say about this beautiful lunar placement? Well, let's remember that whenever the moon is in any given sign, we start by understanding the nature of the planet in the sign. The sign is a modifier, and in ancient astrology, planets are far more important or more primary in a delineation than a sign is. So you have to start by understanding the moon. If you're going to understand the moon in any sign, it starts with the moon. The moon's universal significations would be those that are broadest and most universally or philosophically relevant for the planet and have the broadest symbolic application. So, for example, on the universal level, the moon represents the realm of fortune, the material, incarnate world of forms that come into being and pass out of being, the daily flow of events, the image of the wheel of fortune, the realm of karma, the material world where we live and breathe and eat and eventually die. The constant changes and fluctuations of environment, emotions, mind, body, circumstance, that constant fluctuating, changing world was the world that the moon represented in the broadest sense in ancient astrology. So when you look at the moon universally, you're thinking about something like in the birth chart, you're thinking about something like the karmic environment that the soul finds itself in, which comes from ancestry and family and culture and past lives and so many other things. So has a very broad and kind of enigmatic meaning in a chart, far beyond just your emotions or something like that. Although that can be relevant when taking say, a psychological approach. By contrast, the moon's topical significations are going to be those things that the moon represents most concretely: people, places, or things. For example, the moon represents the body, the physical body that is the temple or house of the spirit soul. It represents mothers and women, home and family, ancestry, tribe, village, clan, and culture. All of those things that act as um, the sort of ground of our being, the mother, the village, the family, the home, the community, the things that we are tied together to, like an ecosystem that nurtures us, connects us, fosters our growth, etc. This is also the womb, for example. The moon can represent things like marriage and pregnancy and childbirth, but anything that we nurture or devote ourselves to, as well as very basic things like food and cooking. So, the significations of the moon, these universal themes of the material world and the specific things like mothers and family, etc., are modified according to whatever sign the moon is in. So, when we interpret a planet in a sign, the most primary way we delineate that is by looking at the moon and the planet whose temple it occupies. So, and then secondarily by the various qualities of that sign. Now, when we look at the moon in Virgo, we are thus saying that the moon is going to be modified by the fact that it is in the temple of Hermes. First and foremost, we're talking about a mercurial moon. Now, it is a feminine mercurial moon that is double bodied, feminine or yin, and earthy. So we're talking about a feminine, yin, double bodied, earthy Mercury. All of those qualifiers are really giving us information about what kind of Mercury we're dealing with. And the placement of Mercury in this time of year with all of these qualities has to do with the way in which the zodiac is mapped out according to seasonal fluctuations of light and dark, the yin and yang. And so this time of year, in terms of the light and dark, the preparation for the harvest of the fall equinox, is why these qualities and Hermes get placed here. So there's layers of logic that go into this. And when we get down to this level, basically what we're saying is we have all of the natural symbolism of the moon, and then we modify it by knowing that it's in this earthy, feminine, double bodied place of Hermes Mercury. So the sign of the Virgin or Harvest Maiden is the third and final sign of zodiacal summer. It is the place in which we leave the light half of the year and enter the dark half of the year, which was conceptualized as the entrance of the youth into the underworld or the initiation into adulthood. The borders between youthfulness and adulthood, or purity and innocence versus lack or loss of innocence, or just the gathering of experience that initiates us from a sort of naive, relatively blank slate into a much more complicated world. These are all things that happen at the threshold of the sign of Virgo into the underworld, which begins in Libra. So, on this part of the zodiac, the light dominant half of the year is now steadily waning, and by the end of Virgo, the handover to the dark half begins. So, you can understand again, this is a earthy, yin, mercurial kind of moon that is ushering the soul into from the sort of youthfulness of the light half of the year into the more mature, dark, complex, dark half of the year. So, the ways that that ends up getting translated is that we see the Virgo moon as a moon that is on the precipice of a transformation into darkness, an impending judgment or evaluation implied by the harvest. It makes it a very careful moon. It's thoughtful and careful and conscientious. It's also concerned with purity and the potential that we lose purity, whether we're talking about a task that we're performing or we're talking about how we care for something, the concern with things like cleanliness or doing a good job. So, broadly speaking, we think of the moon in Virgo as having a concern with purity. There's also an anxiousness because the sign of Virgo and the moon in Virgo is sort of standing in this tentative place where it's about to enter this initiation into darkness and the underworld. And so there's an anxiety that's there, a kind of sacred anxiety about the presence of coming darkness or evaluation or judgment. Will I get it right? Did I do something wrong? How will I be judged or evaluated? Which makes the sign, the moon in the sign, very caring, very nurturing, very sensitive, but also sometimes a little anxious. Judging, discerning, and discriminating are all great qualities to describe the moon in Virgo, which can also be like, I think a lot of the archetype of Mary Poppins with the moon in Virgo. She's a nanny, she's magical, she's very sort of strict and stern, but also light and youthful. And so there's this ability to sort of, I remember like the scene in Mary Poppins where Mary Poppins is having them, she's using magic to clean up the nursery, and they're, the soldiers are marching into their toy box, and all of the things are being put away, and so she's got this very careful, meticulous, but magical quality to her. And that is really the best of Hermes Mercury, who is associated with magic, with astrology, and the kind of cleanliness or concern with purity that characterizes this sign. So it's a very magical sign, and a sign that is associated not just with, kind of practical, earthy, do the right thing, but there's a kind of magic in the craftiness and carefulness and discerning or discriminating qualities of Virgo. But of course, it can lean into a kind of perfectionism as well. There's mental, rational, meticulous qualities. These are the earthy, practical sides of Mercury. Caring and cautious is also really important because this moon is a very maternal moon, but it's like a maternal moon that's very specific about how it runs a kitchen, you might say. Just use that as like an image. It's youthful. See, this sign hovers between the end of summer and the beginning of autumn, which was also thought of as a transition from youth to adulthood. And so the sort of tension between innocence and the initiation into the complexities of life, morally, spiritually, sexually, where we have to reconcile ourselves with the darkness. It can't just be good versus bad, pure versus unclean, or something like that. Those dichotomies can become a really tense source of anxiety for the Virgo moon. The Virgo moon can be a little naive, as though there have to be experiences that are had that aren't always easy, but they have to be had somehow. Skilled, intelligent, resourceful, very crafty. Virgo moons are incredibly good at doing things that require the body, the hands. You'll see people who have very particular skills with the body, or earthy, practical, crafty skills, can be very artistic, but usually with some kind of skilled craftsmanship involved. Now, this moon, because it's related to the body and the earth and embodied life in the material world, will also, The moon in this sign will tend to constellate these tensions between guilt and forgiveness, perfection and imperfection, austerity versus sensuality, youth versus adulthood. All of these themes, these kind of little dichotomies, are sometimes a very important part of the experience of having a Virgo moon. So here's some people to sort of illustrate after we've laid out some of the basic archetypal qualities. Let me just say a little bit about some of the people and just how these people, you can see some of the tensions at work in their life. And I picked people that I think certain aspects of their story are very noticeably Virgoan, and are also, like, everyone probably knows the story. Madonna is a really great example. She is someone you think of, her music videos in, I think it was late 80s, early 90s. Some of them were incredibly provocative and were groundbreaking in terms of the way in which she created juxtapositions between sensual and sacred themes, like a virgin, or what's the other one, like a prayer. I can't remember, but uh, her Material Girl, Living in it, all of those Madonna songs, and I'm probably messing up the names of them, I apologize. But the tension between sort of images of Catholic purity and the desires and sensuality of the body. And here was a young girl who was pushing the conventions and holding the tensions between purity and sensuality, experience and youthful naivete, and really highlighting the tensions around the Virgo um, archetype that we experience collectively. She did a wonderful job of that in her artwork as a musician. Now, whether you like her or not, all we're trying to do here is notice the archetype at work. Now, Elon Musk is, some people are, just really right now, he is a triggery person for sure. For some people, can't stand the guy, right? Other people, depending on where you're at politically, might really like him. The point here is not to get political, but to get archetypal. So one of the things that is very well known and documented about him is that he is obsessed with technology. And the Virgo moon is often a sign of someone who's very scientific, analytical, rational, practical, and spends an enormous amount of time trying to perfect things that are sort of like crafts or sciences or skills or whatever. And my only point that I want to make about him is that if you look at the trajectory he was on from youth to adulthood, and the transformation he's undergone from sort of the purity of youth to the complexities and darkness of adulthood, which we all go through. But if you look at that transition for him along the Virgo lines, it's pretty loud. And then the other thing that I would say about him is the sort of obsession with craft, skill, technique, science, data, and trying to, like, Virgos are people who are often obsessed with crafts. And that's something that I've noticed about him in the past. That I watched interviews with him years ago, and I haven't seen much about him lately. It's not someone I follow, but I know that he was absolutely obsessed with perfecting elements of his technology with cars and so forth. So that's a good example. Let's flip the page, go to someone completely different in the Dalai Lama. So what I find really interesting about the Dalai Lama is that this is someone whose childhood was marked by the tremendous burden of, I mean, I imagine it as a burden. He's talked about it as a burden. I'm sure it's a sacred thing to carry, but he's a reincarnated Lama within their tradition, right? Whether you believe that's true or not, that's what he believes to be the case. That's what the tradition says is the case. And imagine the weight of that in childhood. You are a pure, enlightened being, who's returned, and the amount of pressure that places on a person in childhood to be perfect, clean, pure, innocent, etc., it must be tremendous. And so I just find it interesting that you can see little signatures like this now, on the other hand, here's someone who's also a very caring, conscientious person, that is just very thoughtful and has always been talked about as having a youthful kind of innocence. But the themes anyway in his early childhood, regardless of what you think about any of these individuals, is archetypally noticeable. Stephen Hawking is another one where I just want to draw that parallel back to someone like Elon Musk, not on any level politically or socially, but just on the level of being absolutely obsessively focused on the refining and honing of things like science, data, technology, craft. Now, for him, obviously, it's like physics, math, etc. But the the way in which a Virgo moon will often show up is through someone who has an interest in the material world and skills, crafts, data, investigation, science, analytics within that world. And so it's a noticeable part of his life. Of course, he's also got a lot of planets in Earth, kind of like got a grand Earth trine going on. So someone who is very earthy. And one of the signs of earthiness that we don't always talk about, because we think of the Earth as very sensual, but it's also a place that is associated with very practical things. Stephen Hawking is someone who's like meh on the subject of God, right? But a little bit more like I look at what's directly in front of me. That can be very earthy. So the other thing, of course, that happens is this from youth to adulthood is an incredible transition in his life. If you've ever watched the movie about his life story, from the sort of degenerative, I think it's a degenerative disease that he had. I can't remember the name of it, but anyway, the passage from youth to adulthood was fraught with all sorts of um, interesting challenges for him as he was sort of initiated into adult life through disease and hardship and sickness and all sorts of stuff. So again, you'll often find that the Virgos, people with strong Virgo placements, will have really archetypally vivid examples of the initiation into the darker complexities of life, the body, sexuality, etc. Puff Daddy, here's a triggering figure, right? We all have heard the stories recently. The thing I want to highlight about him, and I don't know, I can't remember if this is a rectified chart or not, so the moon in the 12th is interesting, but anyway, the simple point would be that there are often some really problematic issues between the dichotomy of youth and adulthood. And so when you see similar things in Michael Jackson's chart, I'm just being honest here, where Virgo will sometimes show up when there are, it's as though the shadow of a moon in Virgo is sometimes issues with the dichotomy between youthhood and adulthood. And I will let you guys ruminate on that yourselves, but it's one example. I mean, you could look at him being something of a craftsman in music and different features of his life that are not entangled in the controversy and scandal, right? But the one thing that we could look at for sure is that when there are problematic distinctions between innocence, purity, and darkness, and they're put along lines of sensuality versus purity, you'll often see some pretty disturbing sort of perversions of those dichotomies showing up in a person's life. And again, Michael Jackson's another example with, I can't remember, it was the Virgo sun or moon in his chart. Anyway, let's move on. Dolly Parton is another really good example of someone who has, throughout her entire life, like one of the things that people love about her is that she maintains this kind of youthful innocence, and she's not
Her
at all
breasts.
like an asexual figure. She's very, I think she has embraced her sensuality, and her Venusian side is like a very well established part of her personality, and yet there's something that remains very wholesome about her. And this is again, I'm admittedly something of a Dolly Parton fan. Like I've always just found her kind of like a kind of a kick-ass personality. But anyway, that's aside the point whether you like her or not. You know, again, archetypally, someone whose life has constellated around the juxtaposition between sort of like being sort of innocent and pure and youthful and like sexy. Do you know what I mean? So that sort of sensual versus pure theme. She's been married to the same person, I believe, for like over 50 years or something too. Anyway, so she is an example of someone who just holds that tension between the sort of chaste themes and the very sensual and erotic themes in her personality. She's always been known for holding that tension. That's a Virgo moon. And it doesn't they don't always appear in the same ways. Like you have someone who's crafty and resourceful and meticulous. But some of the ways in which a Virgo moon show up will be about the way in which the life expresses these different archetypal tensions. The Olsen twins, both born with the moon in Virgo, I think that's really fascinating because, um, and again, I'm relying on, I can't remember if this was I can't remember what the Rodan rating on this one was. So it's at 0 Virgo. So if we discover that they're actually in Leo, okay, then this wouldn't fit. But I'm going with the Virgo moon chart for the two of them, right? And just if this were the case, then the way that I would see the moon at play in their lives would be in terms of, look, they are looked at as the epitome of cute, innocent little girls in Full House, right? Um, and as they age, there's a way in which they're always going to carry that collective projection of being innocent, good girls. And that is something that, from what I've read in statements that they've made, is complicated, right? It's like, it's not like it's an easy thing to be constantly thought of as the cute, pure little girls from Full House. And yet there's something about that projection, that innocence, that youthful, the harvest maiden kind of image that they will carry. And the tension of holding that alongside of other darker themes that Virgo is actually initiating us into will be present. So just a fascinating thing when you see the moon in Virgo show up like that. Rudolf Steiner, to me, is a very fascinating one because he's sort of like he's a very practical, scientifically minded person, and yet a lot of his research was utilized in the development of children's education, as in the Waldorf schools, for example. So there's a connection between Rudolf Steiner and things like early childhood education that a lot of people don't even know about. He was such an sort of incredible, crafty, thoughtful, skilled, research analytical type of person, but he was deeply concerned with the development and education of children and things like wasn't he a part of biodynamic farming at some point too? I can't remember. But yeah, so another interesting example. Marquis de Sade is an interesting figure because he holds the tension with the Virgo moon. I mean, whatever you think of him, the tension between innocence and purity and the sort of darker indulgence of lust and desire is constellated in his life story massively. You ever watched the movie about him that came out? I don't remember who played him, but yeah, there's another example of someone whose life held these really intense tensions between purity and indulgence or lust or desire. And it always becomes more problematic when the purity part of us tells us that the sensual part of us is bad. Then you often see the dichotomy between the two constellating with some real demons coming into play, if that makes sense. Alan Watts and the next one, Terence McKenna, they both play really similar roles, by the way, during the time when Uranus and Pluto were moving through Virgo and initiating an entire generation of youth into adulthood in rock and roll and free love and Woodstock and psychedelics, that whole like 1960s Uranus, Pluto, and Virgo. They were figureheads of that movement, talking about the adults of the world versus the youth of the world, the establishment versus, more complex themes that lie beneath the veneer of the perfect pure society. So when you look at both Alan Watts and Terence McKenna and you notice their moons are in Virgo, first of all, they're very thoughtful, research-oriented, careful, meticulous, scholarly, scientific types of people, but they also held this juxtaposition between the sort of purity and innocence, or the projected images of purity and innocence of a like Christian society versus these deeper, darker explorations that everyone in their generation was being initiated into. It's again another really fascinating way in which you can see the Virgo themes showing up. Jack Kerouac is similar for his generation as a beat writer. It was a bunch of angsty kids at really that generation was like, young angsty writers and travelers who were craftsmen and also straddling the line between purity and innocence and loss of innocence, adulthood, etc., and very much the precursors to the 1960s. Brian Wilson is a fascinating example who also has the theme of a youth and the maintenance of some kind of purity versus the destruction of that purity or the loss of that purity or the entrance into the underworld. As a musician, He is someone who, as a young boy, was incredibly talented, and as a young boy was led into a musical group by his father with his brothers in forming the Beach Boys. And he also struggled mightily with the deterioration of his mental health, and kind of through overuse of drugs and psychedelics, and also maybe just his own constitution or what have you. He went deep into the underworld with the loss of sanity. It was a major initiation process for him that was a huge part of the transition from youth to adulthood. Like his initiation from youth to adulthood was very intense and very Virgoan. Also someone who demonstrates all the meticulous craftsmanship of a Virgo. He was known as basically a virtuoso in terms of his ability to write symphonic compositions, and he was one of the first to do so, and it really inspired a whole wave of young musicians during the 60s again as well. Serena Williams, I don't know a lot about Serena, but I know that she has this intense childhood with her dad and her sister, and the way in which she was brought up with a lot of pressure to perform and be perfect and masterful with her craft, playing tennis. It's again, oftentimes the pressure has to do with the youth and the adult and the dichotomy between the two. Lizzo, I'll end here because there is also the whole thing about body image. She's someone who has dealt a lot with the topic of body image and shaming and being happy with who you are, and the dichotomy between, say, like, um, you know, well, let me put it this way. I don't know much about her, but I know that the sign of Virgo is very commonly implicated in people who deal with eating disorders or working out the right relationship between their appetite and their appearance, or their sensual side and their desire to try to control and look a certain way. I've seen a lot of young women or older women who at one point had an eating disorder in my astrology practice with, strong pronounced placements in Virgo. So one of the things that I find interesting about someone like her is that she's very publicly dealt with issues around you eat too much, or you look a certain way, or you should look like this, or you shouldn't look like that, or whatever. The whole thing about how do we live with a desired body that we acknowledge and honor and respect the existence of without completely losing ourselves to the tension between purity and experience. Like, experience is not pure, it's a complicated thing. So how do we allow ourselves to be creatures that need experience, need to honor our desires and the exploration of our desires without losing something innocent and pure, without losing our discrimination and better judgment morally, spiritually, etc.? How do we regulate desires while acknowledging them? How do we hold the youthful innocence while also recognizing the complexities of adulthood? Those tensions become massively important in the sign of Virgo. And as you can see, those stories are at work in many of the examples that I shared today. Now, again, I went with some charts where if they were rectified, it's possible the moon's in a different sign, but they make good illustrations for the purpose of this talk anyway. So we will leave it there for today. I hope this episode of Planets in Profile has been useful. Now you know a little bit more about the moon in Virgo. You can work maybe a little more sensitively with this planetary placement if you see it in a chart, and or if you have it in your own chart. So we will be moving on to the moon in Libra in the next installment of the series that I hope to pick up the pace with again. Got bogged down in a lot of other series and things that were happening over the last few months. So hoping to pick this up and move through the remaining 6 signs of the zodiac next. All right, that's it for today. Take it easy, everyone. Bye.
Why? Why can't they just release it now, Tim? Steve Bannon.
Everybody, when I told people that you were coming on the show, everybody wanted me to ask you about this documentary on Epstein that where you said you were working on it and you had 15 hours of interviews with him, but it never got released. What happened to it?
I haven't finished it, so hopefully it's going to be a multi-part. I would hope a Netflix or something like this. It's really going to show. It's called the working title is called The Monster. He's a product of the elite. Everything I think has been put out about him is not exactly the truth. Now, hopefully, they're going to release all this information they've got. I think Pam Bondi has it, or the intelligence community has it. They should be releasing, or Christy Nome has it, whether the flight logs are, all those things. So I've got about 12 hours of interviews with him, 12 to 15 hours of interviews that I think will be pretty shocking about how this guy came from nowhere. Because I think he's born in like Coney Island, how he came from nowhere to go to the absolute highest levels of global elite, right? And who he knew and who he financed. He's one of the leading underwriters of scientific experiments in the world. And a lot of that's dealing with this thing called transhumanism. So I think it's if I ever get it done, or when I get it done, it's going to be quite fascinating. But it's a project I'm working on with my filmmaking team.
And so are you surprised there hasn't been a bigger call for an investigation into his death? Because nobody believes he killed himself, but that's what the government tells us.
Oh, I think he was murdered. I don't think there's any doubt.
And
I think his attorneys think he definitely was murdered, and these guys are pretty steady guys. I don't think there's any doubt he was taken out. To me, personally, I don't think there's any doubt he was taken out. I think he was murdered or executed, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
I have no belief that he killed himself.
so do you think Trump's going to want to get to the bottom of that? What happened? I mean, it was obvious they just let him be executed. You know, they sent a guy in and they killed him in prison. And so what do you think Trump's going to want to? I mean, we need someone in power to try to find out what happened, right?
Well, Pam Bondi, first off, BOP is something I'm helping since I was a convict already on a misdemeanor. Spent 4 months. I'm working with Jared and Peter Navarro and the others that were jailed or in prison in President Trump's time. We're working on getting new Bureau of Prison leadership. Hopefully reformers, or not hopefully, we'll get reformers. The thing has to be reformed. The jail or the prison where he was held temporarily in New York was a known, hellhole, and with horrible, people running it, etc. Filthy. People should not have to be treated like animals. Although he was not a good guy, very bad guy, but you still a human being. You got to treat him like human beings. It was terrible. But I have no belief. There's zero probability that he killed himself. I think he was executed. And remember, Bill Barr ran the Justice Department. You had a bunch of holdovers and careerists running the BOP. I just think it's got to be investigated. Yeah, I think President Trump will. Or I think Bureau of Prisons will. Pam Bondi and other people that are going to be associated, I think they'll turn over and start to have a major investigation, which I think they have to. They've already said that they had some sort of investigation into it, but I don't believe it.
So now I remember hearing you talk about that these tech guys want some kind of Venetian city-state system of technocratic feudalism.
Well, I don't say that. They say that. That's called the network state. Scott Bellagio, I think, is the theoretician. One of Peter Thiel's guys is the theoretician of this, called the network state.
So
that's their belief.
So did you know that it turns out by coincidence that the word Doge is actually the title for the ruler of the Venetian city-state?
Yes.
Who used the Doge system from about the 8th to the 18th century, so for about 1,000 years. And this is from Wikipedia. The Doge of Venice acted as both the head of state and head of the Venetian oligarchy. Doges were elected for life through a complex voting process. So my question is, how worried should I be about that?
Well, I think you should be very worried. There's a couple of great books on this. There's the former Greek, I can never pronounce his last name, but he wrote a book called Techno-Feudalism that's quite revelatory. But there's a lot of work out there now that people are doing this. I think you should be worried because they're not thinking on the spectrum of kind of, Rachel Maddow on the left and Bannon and these other crazies on the right, and populist nationalists versus progressives, whether you're open borders or more sovereigntists. You're kind of on a spectrum and you argue about that, and it's kind of been passed down from the ages. These guys really think on a different spectrum, a different line, and that is, it's really techno-feudalism. It's this thing of kind of a network state that you would have, instead of thinking in capitalist terms of
Yo, Green Goose. What's up, brother?
As digital platforms and rent seekers. And so you have, and this is why you have no competition. You have Facebook and Google.
Wow, insane.
And, Twitter.
People are saying, why didn't he leave the country?
These things that really have no competition. You have
he was just hanging around in the U.S.
electric vehicle companies.
Oh, didn't they like not allow him to leave or some shit? That's crazy.
To Google, unless you
Yo, what's up, Krishna? How are you, man?
Which is quite tiny. Right. It's across the board like that. And remember, they've had the progressive kind of sociopathic overlords of Wall Street and the political class of Washington, D.C. created these oligarchs who were all progressive Democrats. And it was fine. They kind of made a pact with them, an agreement that since we're a hegemon politically and geopolitically, they would make a Faustian bargain to essentially allow these people to become the richest people in the world, have no antitrust around them, no breakups, no real regulatory control, very de minimis regulatory control, and allow them to become the richest, most powerful people in the world. But the Faustian bargain was that you have to take the commanding heights in the age of the algorithm. In the algorithmic age, you have to make sure that the hegemon has the commanding heights. And we've seen in the last couple of weeks that, hey, the bargain wasn't with, didn't become true. That number one, TikTok is so much more sophisticated, because the two things are social media and artificial intelligence. TikTok's so much more sophisticated than what we've come up with, which is kind of still fairly rudimentary. That the Chinese Communist Party won't even allow the real version of it that's infecting the West to be in mainland China. And then you see artificial intelligence, and whether it was a Chinese PSYOP or a Sputnik moment, the difference between DeepSeek and Chat GPT, or our AI version in the West, which is kind of brute force computing, to the fact that you need these massive power centers to power the data centers, and to that net carbon zero and the green and the Green New Deal is kind of gone by the wayside. They don't talk about it anymore because you need 10 times more power than what powers the United States right now. So they would need sustainable, baseload power. They don't need wind every now and again and solar. They need real power, whether it's nuclear, coal, whatever. And so, and turns out that theory, if DeepSeek is correct, that theory of kind of this brute force just computing for artificial intelligence.
What's up, Christian? How you doing, man? Thanks for being here, brother.
Maybe a Sputnik moment. And what do? They do exactly what happened in the 2008 financial collapse. In the 2008 financial collapse, which was not Obama's fault. He came in after it, but they went to, Geithner and these guys around Obama, and it was a classic bailout. They took the balance sheet of the Federal Reserve from $880 billion to about $4.5 trillion.
Good call with the Gilbert Gottfried persona, brother.
Propped up the real assets, real estate, and stocks and hedge funds.
Oh,
so
yeah, buddy, Miami Beach.
But it was all,
let's watch the fucking.
By
let's put on Miami. Let's put on the calisthenics Miami Beach. Thanks. On Muscle Beach, bro. I love this video. This is like one of my favorite YouTube videos right here. I think we watched it before on stream. Holy shit! He did a new one, 2023. When did we last watch it? We watched. Right. We might not have watched this one. Oh yeah, I unsubscribed to him because he was annoying.
And for everyone watching, if you want a shirt from the Miami Pull Up Jam, visit chrisharriott.com to get yours.
I mean, I love the guy. He's a nice guy, but I just didn't want
supply, so get yours right now before we're all sold out. And get ready for Black Friday, our biggest sale of the year, coming in just a couple weeks. Now let's get this competition started.
What day is today?
Yo, Toad, what up, brother?
We're gonna kick this off right now.
My stream? Yo, that's sick, dude.
Hey,
That's sick, Christian. That'd be cool. Like an IRL. He's an annoying guy. Maybe he'll stop. Sorry. It wasn't annoying. I can't remember why I unsubscribed to him. But I don't know. I did. You caught me.
Wow, what an honor. Really, really. I did not expect that at all. Thank you.
They brought bleachers? The guy brought bleachers, bro.
Don't break it.
That's a fucking... That's a step up, man. Fucking bleachers.
And today we're gonna be having a weighted pull-up competition first, then moving up into a muscle-up competition, freestyle competition, and then finishing off with a handstand competition, the last man standing. Or woman. All right, we're ready to top off this competition. Starting off with weighted pull-ups. We have a 45 plate. My boy Lovin's right here is gonna be the ref. He's gonna let you guys know what reps count. First up, we got
I don't know. I like the other video better. It has a more organic feel. Like the bleachers kind of really threw me off here. It's just it's a little too much. I'm not judging. Yeah.
15. All right, next
Live Hollywood Beach. That's the beach.
Let's go.
Nice, buddy.
Let's go. Push it. 17. 20 reps.
Yeah, I never made it to Hollywood Beach.
21. 25. Let's go. 19. Let's go. Let's go. Keep in mind, we got cash prizes, guys. The first place is going to win $500. Second place, $300. And third place, $100. Wamu was last year's Muscle Up champ. You got to be 25. You got 4 more. 22. 3 more. 3 more. 23. This is easy, bro. Don't hold down anything back.
Cool, man. I'll look it up after this video, I think. Or maybe after the next one. I'll see.
1 more. You need 1 more, bro. Put another one in there. Let's go. Let's go. You got that. 26. You got it. All right, guys. 26 for Wamu. 7. Let's go. Let's go. Whoa. All right. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5. He's moving fast. 20. That's his first break right there. Oh my God. Give it up for him, guys. Let's go. 22. I think he's got it. 25. 27 reps. We got John Marquise that's going to go for some repetitions. 1. All right. 2. 3. 4. 9. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's give him that motivation, guys. 10. You got this, John. Come on. Keep it going. Don't stop. 11. Let's go. Let's go. 12. Woo! 12 reps. Let's give it up for him, guys. Excellent work. All right, that's going to be it for the men. We're going to move on into the women. First one up is going to be Danae Morgan. All right, Danae, let's give it up for her. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 17, 18. Jeez.
It's like Gamer Girl?
19. Oh, my goodness. Let's give it up for her, guys. Push her. Come on. She's got this. Let's go. She's going to hit a new PR today. 21. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. 26 pull-ups. Oh, my goodness. Give it up for her, guys. Irma. All the way down. 5. Let's give it up for her, guys. 6. 7. Those are some solid reps. 9. Let's go. That's amazing. 1. Oh, my goodness. Those are some solid reps. 4. 20. What? 20 reps straight. Absolutely killed it. Great job. Woo! 1. Oh, that's straight up. 2. 12. What? 14. Amazing. That was amazing. Next, we got Felicity. 11. 12. 1. 2. 21. Give it up for her, guys. You got this, Kara. You got this. This is light. This is easy. Come on, you got that. 22. You got that. Woo! Give it up for Kara, guys. Let's go. Give it up for her, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Woo! Killed it. Smashed it. We've seen clean form from every single woman that came up. That's amazing. Let's go. Let's go. 8. Give it up for her, guys. 9. All right, we're ready to announce this year's Miami Pull-Up Jam weighted pull-up winners. for men and women. Starting off, ladies first. In third place with 20 strict form repetitions, we got Simona Lonescu. Give it up for her, guys. Congratulations. Next up, second place with 22 reps, we got Kara Walder. Give it up for Kara, guys. Congratulations, you absolutely smashed it this year.
Thank you so much.
Great seeing you, Kara. You killed it. All right, for first place's winner with 26 strict form pull-ups, that was absolutely amazing. We got Danae Morgan. Danae, where you at? Woo! There you go. Danae, you absolutely smashed that. I was insanely impressed. Danae, do you have anything to tell the people?
Believe that you can do it and you keep working. Even when it looks like you might not make it, you can definitely do it. So keep going, guys.
All right, moving on into the men's. Starting off with third place, we got Nick DeFrancesco with 25 reps. Excellent, congratulations, bro. Second place winner.
So the men's are weighted, but the women aren't weighted? Come on, man. That's just ridiculous.
From last year.
You can't do that.
Absolutely smashed it. All right, for first place, 27 repetitions, we got Dennis Harakov. Danny Montano on YouTube. Check him out, guys. Congratulations, brother. $500 in there. Anything you'd like to motivate the crowd with? Some kind words?
I'll get 27 reps on pull-ups. You work out a lot, consistent, eat well, drink a lot of water, and make happy vibes.
All right, guys, we're going to move on now into the muscle-up competition. So we'll have something right here for you guys. Cannot touch. It's got to be strict form, just like that. That's the only way it counts. All right, they have 1 minute to complete as many muscle-ups as you can. 1, 2, 11. Last year, the champ did over 21 muscle-ups. That was Wamu. Gotta beat that. Woo! There we have it, 18 muscle-ups.
18 muscle-ups?
That bar is so close.
Holy
As you can see, there we go. 7 muscle-ups.
That's crazy.
3.
He might win with 8. I'm gonna say it now. He's at least top 3 with 18.
Next up, we got Bar. Your name is Bar. You got this. You gotta set the bar right now. Here we go. Oh my goodness. 2, 8, 9. Let's go, cheer. Give him up for him, guys. Let's motivate him. Woo! Light work, light work. Woo! 10 reps. 9, 10, 14. What? Keep it going. Give it up for him, guys. 15. Let's go. To the very end. Let's go. Let's go. 21. You got this. Easy. All right, guys. 21 muscle-ups. That was amazing. All right, next up, Andrew. Where you at? This is a tough one getting up there. Let's go. Strict. Okay. 7. Easy. Light work. Wamu. Last year, you were the champ. How many reps did you do last year?
It was a tie for 20 in the first round, and then I won out in the tiebreaker with 17.
So you ended up doing like almost 40 muscle-ups within like 5 minutes.
Pretty much. So we'll see what I got today.
2, 3,
Man, look at
4.
that. Like the pure
That bar is close.
calisthenics bodies
11.
have been the champions,
Let's go, man.
except for the
You got
women.
this.
Like a
The number to beat is
bodybuilder woman won it.
21.
This guy's also a bodybuilder. He's got the calisthenics body.
What? Last up, we got
The-
Dylan.
the
We got
cut.
1 minute. Let's go. 1, clean. Woo! Telling you, man, it's tough. All right, now we got the ladies coming up. First up, we got Danae Morgan. Let's go. Give it up for Danae Morgan, guys. Woo! Some clean reps.
Yeah, she could be
Oh my
calisthenics
goodness.
actually, but she's
Let's go.
definitely lifts weights.
She's about to beat my PR. Here we go. Oh my goodness.
That'd be me.
11. Give it up for her, guys. Okay, we're at 12. That's getting awfully close. The number to beat is 13, set by Danae Morgan.
All right, starting off with ladies first.
Yeah, we
We
are.
have Felicity. All right, second place.
We are, brother.
We got Carol Wilson. First place, we have a new champ.
Good question.
That's gonna be Danae Morgan.
Only if they write something.
Wow, Danae just walked away with $1,000.
Don't go banning like lurking names, even if you know they're bots.
Strict muscle-ups in a row. We got Gyges Islam. Give it up for him, guys. Absolutely smashed that. And his whole team. Thank you guys so much.
Third place, I called it. I said he was gonna be top 3.
Sean Perez with 19 muscle-ups.
Called it.
All right, now for first place, 21 super strict muscle-ups in a row. DeFrancesco, where you at, my brother? Let's go. On the beach free. Congratulations, man. You absolutely smashed it. Please tell the crowd how you work out, what motivated you.
So about 8 years ago is when I first started calisthenics, and then like one of the first people that I started watching happened to Fritz. So the fact that we're fast forwarding 8 years and I'm here with him right now competing for his competition is absolutely insane. So I just want to thank you so much for this opportunity. And honestly, to all the athletes, like, you know, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for any of you guys, just because I feel like the calisthenics community is such a strong and supportive community, and I'm just grateful to be surrounded by such awesome people.
Hell yeah, give it up for him, guys. Give it up for Nick. Absolutely. We wouldn't be able to do any of this if it wasn't for you guys showing up for the calisthenics community and supporting each other. So really hope to see you guys next year. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. Now the real fun is going to begin. We're going to start this freestyle competition. We have 1 minute to freestyle. On the floor, we have the hip parts, and we have the pull parts right here. Let's go. Is that fun? And that's fine. Next up, we got Ethan. We got Israel Martinez. Last up, all the way from Canada, Xavier. Now we're going to be going towards the women. First up, we have Felicity. Is she going to press? Back bend. All about mobility. Let's go. Coming up next, we got Kara. We have Danae Morgan. Let's go. Let's go. She's gonna be sore tomorrow. Oh, what's up to the bar? Easy. All right. We actually have some tiebreakers. That's gonna be between Douglas and Xavier. We got Xavier. It's gonna be light work. Let's go. Okay, that boy held that. Let's go, Xavier. Crazy performance. All right, from the beast, Xavier. 1 minute, we'll announce the winners. We have Felicity. Our second place freestyle champ, Danae Morgan. For 2023's Miami Beach Pull-Up and Freestyle Champ, first place, $500, J Brothers. That's gonna go for Kara Mulder. Let's go, the beast. Congratulations, Kara.
First of all, thank you so much. Thank you for opening up this space to be inclusive of women. I truly am just so proud of my journey. I'm thankful to be up here with other women, and we're all better together. So this is for us.
Congratulations to all three ladies today. Now we're going to be moving on to the men. All right, 2023's Miami Beach Pull-Up and third place champ for the freestyling is going to be Nico! Oblivion, let's go, bro. $100 for you. But second place to Dougley. Where you at? Woo!
Thanks to my team, guys. I just want to say that Oblivion is not a team, it's a family, and that's it, guys.
There can only be one champ for 2023's
Trophy, man. Like, this is so look at the size of this trophy. Like, come on, man. The crowd and the tape. No excitement. Shitty day. Great video, but I mean, it's no 2022. Oh, the Canadian guy won.
At this competition, and the vibe is always insane. It's a pleasure to come down here and show what the sport is about. And congratulations to all the other athletes that took part and killed it as well.
Alright guys, we just have one last competition and everybody can participate. We're gonna have a handstand hold competition. We do this every single year and it's on this right here.
That's crazy. Holy shit, dude. The splits. This is crazy, man. Oh wow, a girl placed third. That's cool. That's really cool. That's like the most interesting thing. A girl placed third in handstand competition. That's amazing. That was unexpected. Yeah, this is the one. Was this the one? Yeah. It was the
All
same
right, we
year.
just made it to Miami Beach. Get ready. We're about to head into the Miami Beach Pull-Up Jam, the very first one in cooperation with the city of Miami Beach. I'm ready to get this thing started. Let's go for it. What's
Next
up?
time
How's
you go.
everybody doing today? My name is Chris Herrio. We've done this for many years unofficially. But welcome and thank you for coming to the very first Miami Beach Pull-Up Jam in cooperation with the city of Miami Beach. Thank you to the city for allowing us and helping us
Man,
to
what
put
would
this
my
together.
goal be?
Thank
My
you to our
goal,
amazing
like
staff, and
honestly, would
also thank
probably
you to
be
David who helped
20
put this together. He's been an
pull-ups.
OG here at this workout park for over
Reality,
a decade
maybe
now. When I first
15.
started training calisthenics, it was right here in 2011, and David was
Good
one of the first
day.
people I met. He gave me my first
Like,
pair of gloves and the rest.
amazing day
What I
at
love most
20
about these
maybe,
events is being
with the
able
adrenaline,
to bring the community
being in
together.
Miami.
Having this competition roll around each year is going to give everyone a reason to train, and that's to be the Miami Beach Pull-Up Jam champ. So with that said, let's find out who's going to be the champ this year. We're going to kick off this pull-up jam with a weighted pull-up competition. Then we're going to get into a muscle-up competition, a freestyle competition, and then we're going to end with a handstand hold competition. So I hope you guys are ready to see some serious reps. So the first off, we're going to be doing a weighted pull-up
I guess they were both.
competition. You're basically
They
doing
both
as
had
many
like
pull-ups as
the
you can, wearing one of our
tape,
weight vests. We're going to be giving out trophies for
chains.
every single
On
competition.
trophies,
And
yeah,
you
they
know
had the
what?
trophies.
I felt good today. I brought some snacks with me. Brought a couple $1,000 bucks. I'm gonna be giving away some money for the winners as well. You guys ready? We're gonna have Q demonstrate what a perfect pull-up rep looks like. If it doesn't look like this, it's not gonna count. We got 1 minute on the clock. You're gonna max out your pull-ups all the way up, all the way down. Let's go, guys. Cheer them on. There we go. 1.
I don't get it, man. Like, this guy, he has a big community.
Definitely pretty tough. 40 pounds. Let's go.
Like, how the fuck did he like organize something like this? I guess on his YouTube.
Representing the area metal shirt. Let's go. Okay, we got a strong one. Those are some strong reps right there. All the way up, all the way down. That's exactly how we want to see it. Yes, sir. Okay. Excellent. Those are some serious reps. That was 22 reps right there.
Yeah, weighted, I don't know. I don't know how many I can do. I have no idea.
How many are you gonna hit, bro? I don't know. We'll see what's good. There we go. All the way up, all the way down. That's what you gotta do, reps.
I'm not gonna max out now with pull-ups because I want to do a full
We
workout.
also have 3 women that are going to be competing as well. We're going to be just doing solid reps all the way up, all the way down. No vest. Let's go, let's go. All right, Tamara, you got this. Okay, look at those reps. Those some clean reps right there. All right, we're about to give away the weighted pull-up trophy. We also have a second place winner. We have a female winner as well. Stay tuned. I want to congratulate Cara for being a female with the most reps. 16 repetitions. There you go, girl.
I got
Also,
money?
yeah, a couple.
Yeah.
Got money too. Second place winner with 26 reps. We got Wamu. Give it up for him, guys. The Miami Beach Pull-Up Jam weighted pull-up champ. That's gonna be Carlos with 29 reps. Congratulations, man. Hell yeah, you smashed it, bro. Here you go, brother. Take your girl out to dinner tonight. We're gonna be getting into muscle
I don't know. Looks like he
competition
threw
and
himself
freestyle
up
competitions,
on
which
some of
you guys
those
all been
reps.
waiting for. I'm gonna show you guys the rules. We got our judge Q over here, and we got Sobi over here. So this is how you want to do your muscle ups. Strict form. If you see this right here, you see someone go for a muscle up and they hit this, Bam! That's it. They're done. There we go. We have some clean reps right there. That's exactly what you want it to look like. Not getting anywhere near that black bar. What's going to help you get to this point is negative muscle up. Check out the full muscle up tutorial on Zenix.com, baby. Let's go. 17 repetitions.
He's got
That's
an app.
amazing for our first
He's got everything.
contestant. Keep it going.
Sorry,
Perfect
he's got an
form.
app.
See, this takes a lot of explosive pulling strength, guys. As you can see, you got to pull all the way up to the top. To execute these muscle ups, you need an insane
Alright, let's get
amount
started.
of core strength, shoulder strength, upper body strength, lats, arms, back, chest. 17 reps. Give it up for him. That's a lot. Nice and clean. There you go. All right, we got 11 reps in there. Strict form, baby. Let's go. That's exactly how we love to see it. Oh, there we go. Keep it going. Keep it going. Nice, man. Keep those reps. Okay, okay. There we have it. 6 solid reps. We got a lot of clean reps here today, guys. If your reps don't look like this, you know you got some training to do. Okay, okay. That boy shredded. Let's go. All right, give it up for Shank. Nice. 1, 2, 3, 16, 20 seconds left. Keep it going. Let's go. 20, 1 minute. Let's go. All right, we got 20 reps for Wobble. The number to beat is 20. Okay, nice and clean reps. 18, let's go. We got 5 seconds left. 19. Oh my God, we're about to hit 20. 20. That's time. That's time. And we're almost at the end. 2, 3. Let's go, 3. And that's it, time. 14 repetitions. Give it up for him, guys. Oh my God, we're about to hit 20. 20. We got my mini-me coming up. His name is Kyle. Give it up for him, guys. You guys might recognize Kyle in one of my Thenx videos. Wow, the level out here on Miami Beach is really high. I'm really proud of everybody for giving all these reps out. You guys did amazing. You guys did really strict muscle ups. As you saw, we need to do a tiebreaker. We had 3 athletes that hit 20 reps. So we got Wamu, Ferguson, and we need Matt. Wamu, you're up first. Let's go. Clean. Let's go. 17, you're almost there, bro. We got 5 seconds left. You gotta rush these. Oh! The number to beat is 17. 15. You need to beat 2. 16. You need 2 more. Oh! I know you could have got more, Matt. That's how it goes sometimes. Don't stop. You got this. Let's go. Easy. Yes, there you go. Be careful with that bar. You got this. I'm about to announce the Miami Beach Pull-Up Jam Muscle Up Champ of 2022. First off, I just want to say congratulations to everybody. All you guys are so strong. You guys definitely exceeded my expectations. This year's winner of the Miami Beach Pull-Up Jam Muscle Up Comp. We got the Muscle Up Champ right here of 2022, Wamu. Give it up for him, guys. Congratulations, man. You got any words to say?
It looks intimidating. It all starts with basics. It all starts with just getting out there, having fun. Anybody can do this. You gotta put your mind to whatever you want to see yourself doing, and you got it.
So, Wamu, you absolutely smashed that. Actually, I got a cash prize for you, too. There you have it, guys. Give it up for the Miami Beach 2022 Muscle Up Champ. Next up, we're going to have a freestyle calisthenics competition. This is pretty much what everybody's been waiting for. Are you guys ready? Starting with the males, yes, we have women too. You guys have 2 minutes. 2 minutes to perform. Give your best shot on the pull-up bar, on the dip bar, dynamic movements and static movements. If you can put them both together, you're gonna get even more points. All right, here we go. Freestyle calisthenics, that means anything goes. There we go with the wide front lever. Let's go, get that air. Okay. All right, we got the 1-arm front lever. There you go, stay focused. Okay. Look at that air, guys. Oh my God. Hey. That boy just snapped on the bar. Okay. What full planche on the straight bar. That's insane, and he's still going. Okay. Woo. That boy is energetic. Okay. Sheesh. Solid front lever. Love it. Okay, okay, we got another backflip off the bar. That was a solid run. Here we go. Nice high swing 360. That was insane. Oh, she's going for the one arm. Let's go! That muscle up to backflip McTwist thing, that was crazy. Okay, okay, here we go with a nice explosive, combo. Muscle up, walking it down from a front lever and back up. Oh, we got the full planche. How many planche pushes are we gonna get? Oh my God, what is that? 5, 6, 7. Oh, those are solid. 3, 2, drop into the split, okay. We got trophies in the house, baby. All right, okay. Okay, we got a solid planche in there. Is he gonna press up? Oh, okay. Mad control for that planche. Pressing up straight into a handstand. There you go. Give her some motivation. We got that 90-degree hold on top of a pull-up bar. Let's go, Miguel. Straddle, handstand, and back down to straddle planche. Multiple reps. That's some strength right there. So we're about to find out who's gonna be the Miami Beach Pull-Up Jam Freestyle Champ. All right, real quick, again, thank you so much to the city of Miami Beach for allowing us to do this and also helping us do this. And thank you to everybody for being here. You guys are supporting all these athletes. With that said, in third place for the Miami Beach Pull-Up Jam Freestyle Competition of 2022, we have Corey Singer. I appreciate it. Congratulations, Corey, you smashed it, bro. Give it up for Corey, guys. In second place for the Miami Beach Pull-Up Jam 2022 Freestyle Competition, we have Byron. Let's go! Congratulations, Byron. This year's Miami Beach Pull-Up Jam Freestyle Champ. That's gonna go to Lovin. Let's go! Congratulations, baby! This is yours, my man. Thank you. Much love, bro. Much love. I also just wanted to give you $500. Just because I love you, bro. That was amazing. I love to see it. I know it took a lot of work. I know you've been training for many years. Is there anything you'd like to say to the people?
I love you all. Thank you for your support. My first comp was 2019 over here. Seeing those guys flying, I was like, wow, I wish I could fly like this. So basically, if you have in mind something you want to do, just start.
Hey, let's go. You heard him, bro. If you want to be a champion, never give up. That's the
Discord.
Let's go. Announcing the winners for the women Miami Pull-Up Jam of 2022. Third place is gonna go to Felicity. All right.
Join my Discord.
Girl, bam, that's all
It's an adult rated R Discord, 18 plus. Oh my God, I ran out of paper already. I'm just blowing through this shit. Right.
I wanted to give you a
lot of paper. I think I gotta make more paper.
That's a huge
nice, bro. Really?
Appreciate that so much. You have no idea.
Nice, man. Really? Are you serious? Oh yeah, buddy. Oh my God, man. I'll do one AI. Oh, I think. Whoa. Let's do it, man.
We just want to hear a couple words from the champ. So, what does it take to be champ?
Hard work and dedication and not giving up when it's really hard and getting back up when you fall. My mission in calisthenics is to show
Oh hell yeah, bro.
that's possible for us.
Sorry, I don't mean to dox you on stream.
That's a fact. Let's go.
But okay, I'm gonna take this off stream.
You girls
I'm gonna do a command.
I'm so proud of you guys.
Let's do a
What's up,
command.
guys? Pausing the video real quick to make sure that you're getting enough protein.
Oh,
I've been
man.
telling you for years that getting the right amount of protein is key to your nutrition and building muscle. But for so many people, that's actually very hard to do. Well, here's the secret. Built has made it super easy. Their protein bars have 17 grams of protein with only around 130 calories. So you get the perfect macros, high protein, low calories, but it tastes like you're eating a candy bar. I love these. Right now, my favorite is gonna have to be the cookie dough, but the coconut and the candy cane brownie is right up there with it. In fact, I think everyone else should try these too, so I'm going to Miami Beach to get some real taste tests. Let's see what everyone at the Miami Pull Jam thinks.
Oh. Milky Way. It's so good. Corey. Hey, good, yeah.
Wait, I like it.
Ooh, that's chewy. Isn't it a protein bar? It tastes like candy. Sick.
Oh, I'm writing a prompt, brother. Let me tell you, bro. You're gonna see it. It's gonna be insane.
Built Bar make it easier to build more muscle while staying lean. With their perfect high protein and low calorie bar, you can't deny it tastes like you're actually eating a delicious chocolate bar. Go right now and get yours today at built.com. And thanks Built Bars for sponsoring this video.
We are at the final competition. It's gonna be a handstand hold competition, and everybody can participate. So what we're gonna do is get everybody on that wall. Remember, it's the last person standing. Let's get those handstands up. Let's go. If you came back down, that's it.
Here we go, baby.
Go. Once you fall, move.
It's gonna be insane.
Let's go. Let's go. Hold that. Hold that. Let's go. Hold that car. You got that. Easy, bro. Don't fall. Let's go. Just a couple people left. Last two. You got this. Yo, pal. Let's go.
Yeah, look how hype this fucking session is.
Pull-up jam, handstand champ. He's gonna go to Kyle. Congratulations.
I need to get these singles done before partaking these extracurricular activities.
Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys next time. This vlog.
Bro, that's amazing. I'm so happy. It's like ridiculous.
Mad love and peace out, baby. Let's go.
Here we go. Listen, we should be cooking.
Right on that side if you want to get in the line. Let's do it.
Guys, my voice is gone from screaming so bad, but shout out to Chris for hosting this event.
Not bad, not bad. Could be better.
I'm so dead, but I love you guys so much.
And it's a wrap. Amazing day,
The prompt was a little weird. Could be improved.
Thank you. Someone, brother. Rika. What?
You did pretty well, though.
You're my
We got some nice
what?
ones.
That's a huge honor, bro. You tell me everything I know. Thank you so much, man. Here. What? Dude, that's a huge, huge honor, bro. Brother.
We came from New York.
Oh, what? That's so dope. Alright guys, there you have it. The Miami Beach Pull-Up Jam of 2022 was a huge success. Thank you to everybody that came out. Thank you for all the athletes that came out. Thank you to the city of Miami Beach for allowing us and helping us do this. Shout out to my boy David for helping out as well. And thank you for everybody to come through and support the community.
Yeah, it's just so amazing.
Athletes. It was really cool to see everyone supporting each other. And we got some brand new champs out here on Miami Beach. Let's see who's going to be the champ for next year, 2023. Mad love. Peace out.
Even thanks can't handle it.
Didn't get on the rebound, didn't get real assets. They got nothing. In fact, they took it to 0 interest rates. So the little guy's checkbook and his savings account had no interest for years and years and years and years and years. And they knew they were doing this when they did this. There's a book called Lords of Easy Money that talked about the Federal Reserve. The president of the Dallas Federal Reserve argued and said the working class and middle class are going to get destroyed by doing this. And the guys kind of want to tell me, yeah, you're right, but we'll save the system. The same time they make this deal with Silicon Valley, and so now these guys come down here at this Sputnik moment.
Yeah, buddy, that's just an icebreaker.
They turn around and say, we need a bailout. We
Just
need
some
a
throwaway
program, or we need a
prompt.
Marshall Plan. We need $500 billion. We need
Create
$1 trillion
some nice
of
images.
government money. We need all the national labs, all the weapons labs, Lawrence Livermore, Sandia. We need them all turned around to artificial intelligence
Pretty
to fuel
fucking
us
nice,
that we
man.
can live with it. Another bailout. And so now we're in a terrible situation. We're jammed because you're sitting there and you go, you should have Justice Department. You should have the Lena Khans, and they've got some great people coming in Trump's, Gail Slater,
Wow.
Andrew Ferguson, some real, Trump
Thanks, man. I love that.
to go after them. You should go after these guys.
And I mean, you can
break
like,
them all
we
up,
were doing
have
all
them
different
march
types of
break them up
like
and let 1,000 flowers bloom in
backgrounds,
competition.
right?
You can't do that because now they're
Ethnicities.
arguing, hey, we need national champions because now the Chinese
Like
Communist
that
Party
prompt,
is
like I'm
ahead
just
of
use
it.
the same
Oh, by
prompt,
the
but just
way, we need
change the
$500 billion.
nationality, man. Like,
And
it's
all the
ridiculous.
safeguards you're worried about, Bannon, and you got you Luddites and Jimmy Dore. You can't worry about artificial intelligence because we've got to do all metal, no gas, because the Chinese Communist Party could have weapon systems made by artificial general intelligence, which is really machines, teaching machines how to think. And now
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
screwed, and we have to kind of step back and let them concentrate further.
Now
give
you
them
know
more
why I
money,
want to open the
get into a
OnlyFans for
race
my AI
now,
art.
an artificial intelligence arms race where we're going to have very little control over this thing. So we're in a terrible,
amazing, man.
terrible situation with the
Like
oligarchs.
fall in love with the image.
So you agree that this concentration of power is a horrible thing,
Insane.
but we're in such a bad place we have to let it concentrate even more.
Well, I think we'd have to. I'm called a neo-Brandeisian, I guess it's pronounced, or Brandeisian after Louis Brandeis. There's two schools of thought in kind of antitrust. One is that the people that are most concerned about concentrations of private power teaming with government power, kind of the Chinese Communist Party model, which is really a form of state capitalism. And that goes after, I guess Louis Brandeis, and it's called Neo-Brandeisians. Lena Khan was one, and she had no support, no support by Kamala Harris or Joe Biden or the Biden administration. I think she's actually kind of a hero, and she had support. She was going after these guys. I happen to think that some of the people you're seeing now in the Trump administration wouldn't say they're that, but I actually think they're going to look at the concentrations of power in big tech. These people have started, Mike Davis and Rachel Bovard and Gail Slater all came from the kind of these small NGOs, not-for-profits that focus on the too much concentration of power by the tech giants, and they were mocked and ridiculed by conservatives in the right for years, but they're not being mocked now. The other school is the Chicago school, which kind of looks at consumer pricing, and that's how you want to do it. You get a lot of economics in there. So I don't believe in that.
What an image! This one's amazing.
I worked at Goldman and M&A.
This sounds like might be like one of my best works.
Of companies that were
it's like spectacular. It must be improving the model. It's getting better.
I see what concentrations of corporate power does. And particularly when you have regulatory capture or regulatory merger, and it's very dangerous. Our model here in this country right now is much closer to the Chinese Communist Party than it is to the founders of our republic. I think we're in a very dangerous time of concentration of corporate power, and the progressive left may not see this, but the right definitely does. We saw what happened during COVID. We saw I was debanked. Had my credit cards canceled.
That might be
President Trump also debanked, has credit cards canceled. So many of the leaders of our movement. So and corporate power got so woke. It's supposed to be so conservative and so Republican. It got so woke.
Cool, man.
To be offensive.
Can I play it on stream?
Very, very. I am absolutely against big concentrations of corporate power, and I always think that corporations have to be reined in, because I think not reined in, they could be quite dangerous, as I think they proved in COVID. And I think they proved in the DEI woke.
You want to play it over Steve Bannon, or no? I'm joking. I'm just joking. You know who I keep in my DM right next to me? A Viathex right here, brother. Back from Bolivia and Peru. Uncharted X just got back from Bolivia and Peru. I can't show his Twitch. He might be streaming on YouTube. If he's streaming on YouTube, I'm gonna watch his YouTube. Sorry, Uncharted X. Probably got like 50 viewers now. All Brothers of Serpent streaming. I can definitely watch this.
See how steep this hillside. I mean, it is steep. Right?
Oh wait, we got rid of some toads. Sorry.
Or the unfortunate fun, I should say. 7-1 is the current score, and right now it's...
Wow. Amazing, man. That was epic. That was really good, man. I'll do this one more time. Nice. I love it.
There's all these tumbled boulders, but they're low quality. We looked at a bunch of them, the natural stone, and they're full of fractures. They're rough. Whereas when you would see a cut block, it was obviously high quality.
And in fact, I wish I could zoom in a bit here. I can't really do it, but you can see up on this hillside there are, and I'd love to one day
climb all the way up there. Yeah.
Climb all the way up here, because this is where it looks like these are.
Oops! Almost went to my email on stream.
Up there in the stone part of the mountain.
Yeah. And it's all and Rogelio said there are other blocks up here higher and everything.
Yeah.
But this would take another couple of hours probably to get up here.
Yeah.
It's very steep.
I mean, by the time we got to these platforms, like you can see the constructed platform there, and then as the video pulls out, you can see another one below it with the path.
Okay, let me
Exhausting.
write
This
that.
area, and then we're looking up and we're like, oh my god, if the quarries are there, they're as
I don't
far
know if we
up
can
as
watch
we've
this because
already
he's
gone.
live streaming it. I can't. So
Yeah, it's a
I'm
long
playing
way
the.
up. I mean, so you have. This is like the rubble. This is like the.
I'm.
A lot of the lower
We're not
quality
gonna watch
stuff,
this
then you see blocks like
Yeah, look
this
at that
one
block.
Because he's live streaming.
That are
Like,
almost a darker shade. Like they're that.
we're just.
You have
I
that
can't.
same thing going on as you do in Egypt, where you have to dig into the mountain to get high quality.
But I want to hear what they say so bad. I need to listen. I need you. I need
Going
you.
up the 500
Sorry,
stairs,
bros.
like straight up in the air.
Giving you a like.
Yes, and I'm very sad that I didn't hit record as soon as I took the drone off, so that I have a recording of me wrecking it in an inaccessible place. Like that drone is going to be on that mountainside forever, unless there's a landslide.
Yeah, Russ made an expensive offering to the guy.
Yeah.
Oh no, he lost the drone. No. That's such a nightmare. Especially if it has recording on it. That's the fucking worst nightmare. I mean, it's not worst nightmare, but like
we were the only people there.
when you go around the world and you fuck up the filming.
From being like kind of a rookie, I was amazed at the peace and the solitude we had to be able
But
to
AI
take
naked
all
Chinese
of our time
women
and
there.
observe this stuff. It was fantastic. Like one of my
Good
best
consolidation
trips
prize.
beautiful and mysterious and crazy place when we're talking about the quarry and where they took those stones all over the country is so mind-blowing.
Yeah, and he's right that some of the big sites were busy. Obviously, Sacsayhuaman and Machu Picchu is going to be crazy busy, but there were a lot of sites where there was just no one there but us. So.
Yes. Yeah, it'll be a fun trip. I mean, Peru's not, it is a little more difficult than Egypt just in terms of you're at altitude.
Yes.
It's different to Egypt. People have been at me to try and make this trip happen for a long time. And it's a different vibe. I mean, it's a more spiritual, I guess is the term, right? I don't know how else to explain it. It feels a bit more spiritual, a bit more connected to the land, certainly to traditions, the Pachamama, the Pachatara stuff.
Yeah.
The shamanistic traditions are very much more closely connected to the land. And, the natural beauty of Peru it far exceeds Egypt, although
Yeah, I don't know why it does Chinese
so it's
and
a different
Asians
feeling.
like so accurately.
Really
I think
wanted
maybe
to-
just
to
the high
do
number of
this
face
for a while. In fact,
recognition
I've
software in
wanted to
China.
do
Who
this
knows,
since
man?
I was there during COVID in 2021. It just wasn't a good time because they went just ham with the COVID restrictions, and it made it difficult for everybody. And the time before that was really like 2016, and I've been there like 4 or 5 times, but it'd been a few years, so it was really cool to get back and see that it had opened up again, and then to have that experience with a guy like Rogelio to take us to places like this.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for this trip, which it's going to happen in October. We're working on the final itinerary now. And to be honest, it's not going to be like a huge number of people. It'll be like 30, I think, is the number. And to be quite frank, there's a lot of demand for it. And we do release these trips to, I guess, our supporters, people on my email list, previous tour attendees, patrons of Snake Bros, of Uncharted X. They'll get it first. I have a feeling it might just sell out.
It's going to sell out
within that community before it even goes public. So if you do want to come, sign up for $1 or whatever.
Yeah, you can sign up for $1 to either one of us and get early notice.
You'll get the early notice.
How about now? It's better.
So yeah.
I know, right? And the face is too.
Bros, we're a little bit more expensive than Ben.
Yes, I think my bottom one's $1. I mean, so yeah, there's Matt, Russ, me, and Rohan. Your camera keeps dipping out, Matt. I don't know if you.
I'm currently uploading some top secret files. I'm trying to stop that. So
This is ridiculous, man. Unacceptable. I can't
So
believe
sorry.
it. This show's been planned for weeks, and you picked today? IT guys.
I know.
Really?
Still
crackling?
Business doesn't stop for Snake Bros. My apologies, but my voice is coming through. Okay.
He's got some secret giant
I can't-
documents he's uploading.
Yeah.
I can't turn off you just basically have a blank screen with a P on it. And that's on the live stream. That's what everybody's seeing. I can't do anything about it.
Put a damn image of me up there, please. Thank you.
That's post-production, bro. You want to sign up for free work?
This is entertaining to your listeners and viewers, okay? Me having technical problems, okay?
Ryan Sellers, $20, offering to the Snake Guys.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks, bro. Really appreciate that.
You know what, Nick? We're keeping that $5 for Matt.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, yes. And as we're here,
What the
say this-
previous picture, Ben, showed really how deep, beautifully pink and rose that stone was that we were standing on. You can't see it in all of the imagery.
yeah, it was quite pink. Yes, and while we're at it, Mr. House Party, $5, and also the gifted subs from Petrus Lemon over in Twitch. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tracy. You've got sharp eyes and beautiful earlobes.
Earlobes.
Yes.
All right, we got it. This is a good one. P for P shy.
Yeah.
There you go, bro.
Mr. P. Yeah, P.
It's funny because in the studio here we can see he can't even spell prof correctly.
Don't tell everybody that. I told you. If I was doing right before the stream, you would have sympathy, but I can't say it on a live stream.
I thought that was a reference to Ptah.
Yeah, it's Ptah. Shy.
One chicken down, so have some sympathy, bro.
What? You're breaking up. I'm sorry. I can't hear you because I guess you don't have enough data.
It's breaking up.
That's great.
Gigabit Kentucky internet. Yeah, so this is the clip I wanted to get to. So
this is it, yeah.
Yeah. So this is what I was trying to get to, chat. So we know, and you can tell, yeah, we had a great time in Peru, like just taking the piss out of each other the whole time.
Absolutely.
And but we couldn't climb up here. But Rogelio was telling me, okay, so up over this ridge where we were, and all the way up here are stones, and I, you know, you can't see it from the ground, and I haven't looked at his drone footage yet. And damn if I don't want a new Mavic with the zoom lenses on it now, because as I'm looking at this, you know, I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
There's a lot of blocks.
Big blocks. These are probably smaller quarried blocks as well. And he said up over on this platform, there's a bunch more, and you can see this is like probably a lot of the quarrying probably happened up and over that corner, up around here, but also on this hillside here. This looks like quarry rubble.
Yep.
Yeah, so let's see where this goes, because I haven't looked at this. And Russ, you don't have like local caching on the phone for your drone? You turn that off or something? Because
I was running it on the iPad and I just hadn't turned it on. You know, like when you start recording is when it starts to cache it, and I just didn't do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you didn't hit the button.
I didn't hit record. Yeah.
I
was trying to get it into position, and I crashed it into the mountain. So yeah, I was flying it for less than 30 seconds.
I do have. We can get to that.
Yeah, we'll
I do
get
have
to
footage
it.
of you. Like I'm looking at you and me, because mine was malfunctioning as well, and I just like whoa, and then the funny thing is, I wish I'd captured on the drone, because that would be the second time that
you've captured me crashing.
You
my
crashing
drone.
a drone with my drone.
Yes.
I have footage of him skidding his Mavic across a road up in the Scablands.
In the Scablands.
From my drone. Just like down the road.
Yeah.
You said
Hey, I'm a
pause it?
great pilot. All right.
Yeah.
Screw you guys.
You gotta take risks. I totally agree.
You wanted me to pause this, Kyle? You were yelling pause it?
What was it? No.
No, you didn't. Oh, okay. I thought you said pause it.
Those look like Terra sets, though. Yeah,
They do, yeah.
The natural ones, like the ones we see all over the Scablands.
Look at this. So, okay, yeah. You can look at the blocks up here.
Yeah.
Like they're all over the. I'm seeing them just here. Like rubble.
Somewhere up there is a massive quarry where they were actually peeling high quality deep stone out of the mountainside. There were a couple of spots that we could see from where we were that looked like maybe they might be quarry spots, but who knows?
Yeah, I'm looking at the mountain here.
Yeah.
I mean, over here on the far left.
Over there on the left, yeah.
Yeah. And then maybe, I mean, it's possible. Like this seems like it goes up and around the corner. Like
It
it might
does,
actually
yeah.
be. There might be a bunch of quarry. Like it'd be great to. Geez, that'd be a day.
I know, just to climb all the way up there.
I bet you Rogelio's been up there. I don't know.
He said he was going to try to hike up there now that we had pointed it out to him.
Yeah, okay.
That's what he said. He was like, "Well, I'll try to get all the way up to this to the stone part of the mountain and see if I can find, you know, the source."
Yeah, so this is the so you can see this crazy steep shit. I think we went down through like the center of this, or over here on the left.
Yep.
And that's the valley. So you have that valley, and then the other mountain range, and this is the sacred valley. So this is, you know, the Urubamba River runs through it, that eventually connects to the Amazon. And
God, look at this.
I mean,
is great, man.
It's just, yeah, it's in this someone's little house over here. People live up on this stuff. I mean, on the literally from here, looking at the opposing mountainside, that's Rogelio's family. Like his family basically owns the opposing mountain's face. Like his father and his brothers all have land up there. He's got a bunch of land up there, and he's building little things on it. So, see if you can find some moai in the quarry. That's a good.
Yeah.
How did you guys not get up there when you were there? Well, we'd already been. we had already. I mean, trust me, it takes you 5 or 6 hours to get to this point. And
it was like a 6-mile hike going uphill the whole. It was tough.
Tough. This is tough. It was already
at 13,000 feet.
13,000 feet, 10, 11-mile round hike as it was.
Yeah.
Including going down. So, you know, we're sitting on some of the bigger blocks here. It would have, a couple dirt bikes would be nice, but it's still pretty steep even for that. Well, you know, we're going to give people a chance to come up here on our tour. There'll be a different hike for people that don't want to do the full quarry hike. There's hot springs and rainfalls and waterfalls, and Puma Marker, I think, is a place we'll go to.
Pause this one, Ben, or
just go back.
Back it up a tiny bit. Yeah, so right there, you can see this straight, sharp line going down the middle. That's a wall, like a retaining wall. To the left is the downhill side, and you can see what looks like a strange, like a meandering path along it. That is actually it doesn't work anymore, but that is what Rogelio called those Inca canals. Like it was a water source. So they had struck like all on the mountains when you're going through, especially in the Sacred Valley. You could look up and you would see these straight lines going across multiple features in the mountain, and it was this ancient, tiny irrigation canal that just ran water from some glacial source higher up in the mountains, and it would just carry tons of water, like still many of them still running. In Ollantaytambo there were canals all through the city that still ran. This one was carrying water from somewhere, some other mountain, because this one doesn't have any water on it, all the way out here to serve the staging area with a water source. It just doesn't function anymore. Somewhere along the path it's broken, and so the water is no longer there. But it's crazy, like you can see these ancient water channels all through the mountains.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
We hiked past a couple of them that were working, but they have like a very slight slope just to carry the water. It's not steep, but they run these horizontal lines. You see them, you could see them on the other side of it. You could see them running to Ollantaytambo from way up on the hills.
Yeah, he was pointing them out. Like, look way out there on that mountainside. You see this straight line just going all the way across. That's some
of these.
You know, and it's, you know, they're like 6 inches wide, maybe 10 inches deep, just carrying water for thousands of years.
Wow.
It's like amazing.
I probably have pictures of it. It is kind of amazing. Yeah, let's look at some pictures here of this hike.
Hey, old Momsy. Momsy hugs and kisses. $20.
Oh, thank you.
$20 for starting a super fund
for Professor Shy, so that he gets a better internet connection. Yeah.
Oh no! Apparently he has an amazing internet connection.
He does. Yeah.
He's just uploading a bunch of crap right in the middle of the show.
What was Rojo's dog's name?
Hey, we can't hear you, bro. You're just breaking up too bad. You don't have good data.
Just mute him.
I'm just kidding. What?
Pointless.
He's muted, as far as I can see. He muted himself.
I said, keep the money coming for my internet.
Good deal. Yeah, we'll help him get. They were like, he switched to dial-up. Yeah, we'll help him get a faster modem.
And then we had realness, $10. Drone money.
Drone money.
Third drone's the charm. And then there's legends that the what is it? Legend has it that the first one is still in the tree.
And the second one is definitely on the mountain at Upper England in the Sacred Valley.
Definitely on the mountain. Yeah.
So yeah, we're hiking up the other side of the valley here. So this town is Ollantaytambo, and here's the Sun Temple. You see this, all these terracing and the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's like we're looking across at it, and this might be a water channel actually. This path here potentially. And then there's granaries and storage hills. Like all of these hills are terraced. You know, there's just stuff and building on them everywhere. So yeah, this is like I mean, it's beautiful. You can see. So you see that those horizontal lines here?
Yes,
those are like the water channels. Those are, and then way over here on the left, like this side of the hill, this is where Rogelia's family runs. This like steep.
Yeah, they own that whole
side of the hill,
side of the mountain.
Yeah.
And around the left of it too. He said the backside of that part was theirs as well.
Yeah. And he said up on top of this like mountain, there's like a big lake and stuff. There's a plateau with a lake and Inca remains. It's just everywhere in the Sacred Valley. Yeah, zoomed into this is the face, like the Wiracocha, one of the Wiracocha faces. This is in the the terracing and like the storehouses. I forget the name of his dog. What was it? Little scrappy little guy came with us.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah, so we were hiking up. Let's skip up this.
Jack? Was it Jack?
Jack. Yeah, Jack. It was Jack. That's right.
Jack
Ben, that sounds better, Matt.
Ben, you predicted that Matt would join this from his phone.
I did.
Look at this.
Are you on a cellular network?
He's now on his phone.
Yeah, now I'm on. Yeah, is it better? Are we doing better here?
It is a little better, yeah.
It looks better. It sounds better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your phone sounds better and looks better than your computer.
That's fine. It was okay. I could not stop the Apple backup. It was long story. We won't get into it.
Thank you.
All right, bro. This is better. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So the clouds would break. You've got glaciers and snow-capped mountains around through here. It's the baseline. This is actually lower than Cusco at the bottom here, like 8,500 feet at the bottom.
Yeah.
Which obviously the mountains go up to 12, 14 plus in the valley. Machu Picchu, people always talk about being high up in the air. It's not. It's like 7,000 or 8,000 feet. Cusco's 11,500 feet. It's always high. So yeah, as we're hiking up, that's the quarry. So this is you see the rubble area here. This is all that quarry and staging area as we're going up towards it. And then this was the area I was interested in with the drone. And I think we were flying up and taking a look at it with that drone footage. So,
yeah, and even this photo that we're looking at right now, the part of the path that's in the foreground is steep. You can't tell.
Oh, yeah.
It's not flat.
Yeah.
There we are. In the one rest area. Look at me, I'm dying.
He's dying. Yeah. Yes, we were dying. The dog was having a great time.
The dog had no problem. Yeah.
Jack was fine. Although he didn't like the bridge.
Yeah, I had to carry him across the bridge.
Yes. And Aaron from previous trips says, all right, I'll donate to the drone fund.
Oh, thank you.
And Mr. Shy's new dial-up, and he'll see us all in Peru.
All right.
Aaron. Yeah. Hey, Aaron. We'll get you.
What's up, bro?
In Peru. So this is like the pink color.
There we go.
Stone. This is a better picture with the coloring. And there's Rogelio with his very cool hat.
Yeah, that's an authentic, old school Peruvian style hat.
Yeah, I want one actually. I think he said he's gonna make me one.
Yeah, his grandfather makes them by hand or something.
Oh yeah, bro, we gotta have those.
Yeah.
I'm getting one. Mr. Shy.
That's me.
Let me skip up to some stuff here. I added in, I think a mix in all of it.
This whole hike was for a couple of reasons was excellent. Obviously, we've all heard and talked about this idea that the quarry for the Sun Temple at Ollantaytambo is on the other side of the valley, on the other mountain. So the idea of let's hike up there and see. Well, number one, like I've said before, we didn't actually get to any quarry. And number two, it really gave you the concept of how far we're talking about here. Just walking up to this site was incredibly tiring. The concept of people using manpower to drag giant blocks around on these incredibly steep mountainsides. I don't know. And Rogelio too was saying, it's not really clear. Did they cut these blocks out roughly and then just tumble them down the mountain, or did they try to control the passageway? He said in some cases it looks like they just pushed them down and hoped they didn't break, and in other cases they, were dragging them down the path. But there's remnant stones all along the pathways. Yes. And there's probably some in the bottom of the river too. And he said that there was a bridge there, that the existing bridge that they still use today, that has modern concrete and everything, has megalithic stonework at the base down in the foundation under the water.
Yeah, I got pictures of that.
Yeah.
Z Brawl, $50, man. Definitely need to go to Peru. Thank you so much for the super
Wow,
chat.
thank you, man.
Same here. We got one from Z Brawl as well, $50.
Dude.
And Martin.
And Martin Rander says, "I'm glad I caught the live. Happy Valentine."
Thank you. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah. $2 from Nee Davis.
Nick.
Oh, that's Nee Davis.
Nee Davis.
Nee Davis. Matt, he says he's gonna find a new bunkmate, Matt, because you need to save for some AOL connection.
Yeah, I'm gonna not going. Going.
Canceling? Good. Well, Dan just gave me $20 and said, "This is just for Ben. Buy your own drones and dial them." So, thank you, Dan.
Thank you very much, sir. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, and I think I've taken the best picture of you that is in existence right here.
That is a pretty good picture.
I think it's a pretty.
Yeah, it's a fantastic pic.
Like, look at this. This is the environment. This is what I mean about the natural beauty of Peru. It's phenomenal. I also love this picture.
Oh yeah, that's
a
good one.
Cool, like him and his
With
dog.
Jack, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, this was a fun day. Like I said, yeah, it was pretty epic.
Tough but fun, yeah.
Tough but.
Dude, the next day we were all just like.
Yeah, a little sore the next day.
You can't walk.
Well, yeah, you talk about. I mean, so I think I have. Let me take. I think just we'll move on to a different topic here shortly.
Sure.
I mean, a different day, but I think I did get pictures of the bridge.
I'm scared. I'm scared. Petri Depot. What is this?
Road here. No, we're not. I think we're actually.
He was pointing the bridge out to us on
This
on
is
the
the bridge here. Yeah. So it has.
To the left are some old. They didn't end up using them, or maybe that's, I don't know what he was telling us, but he was the base of those columns have megalithic blocks. And then he told us that they came along and
Here we go.
yeah, there, right there. That they came along and yes, look at that.
Yeah,
Oh
this is
yeah!
all
Wow.
massive work. Yeah, and they tried to build another bridge,
Yeah.
a modern bridge, and
Yep.
it didn't work as well.
Yep.
They're like,
nope.
They keep the megalithic one.
Yeah.
And it's a good example. The Inca had obviously worked on this as well, because you've got this small stone stuff here. But yeah, at some point he was saying that they would actually, he reckons that they were blocking off like half the river at a time to move the stones across.
Yeah.
Like you'd block half the river and you'd move it halfway, then you'd be
Unblock.
on a
Yeah.
platform, and then you'd unblock one side and block the other, and then move it across.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not sure I buy that, but maybe.
Yeah. I mean, we know they moved them because they're in the way. Because this is the other thing I wanted to show was the other stone that we got, which was here, right? This was down back across the river.
That's right.
We're sitting on the train track here, and in this field, it happens to be
a giant block.
A giant block of stone. Look at this thing.
The farmers just farm around it.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a couple, obviously, and then from here you're on the other side of the river where Ollanta Tambo is, and you climb up the hill towards it. And I know that they were doing roadworks; we couldn't see it, but I've seen it in the past. I have pictures on that road. Another massive block, probably as big or bigger than that. And,
Wasn't that one
they had to build the road
15 by 6 or something?
Yeah, we did get. I think I got a little footage of him on it because he does.
He gets on it and then he lays down. It's 3.5 Rogelios long or something like that.
And he's more or less just under 6 foot tall. He's about
New
my height.
standard of measure.
Yeah. Well, they just seeded too. They actually asked the farmers if we could go in there, and they're like, "No, we just seeded it." So.
Yeah. They would have let us, but they had just put seed in the ground, so they were like, please don't walk over it. Yeah.
Yeah. This is Ollanta Tambo over here, so it had to cross over, and then there's this road that goes up to it. And there's another block in here somewhere, at least one. There's probably more. This is down in the valley.
Dan, thanks. $20. He says drones are expensive. Appreciate the sacrifice. Thank you.
And let's see if we get back to this point where he gets on the stone. So yeah, this is so you get an idea of the size of it here anyway. So we're sitting on the railway tracks.
Yeah,
it's
look
quite an
at that.
active railway line, by the way. So we were keeping our ear to it. Yeah, pretty cool. Like, how the hell did this thing get here? You know,
Yeah.
it is huge.
Wait, how did your shirt get on it if you weren't allowed to walk in
It's
the field?
the farmer's.
That's farmer stuff.
Okay.
Stuff, yeah. Actually, I did get. Let me just look at this. I know. I'm sorry about jumping around in this.
It's all right. It's fine. Yeah, Rogelio did run out there and.
He did.
Yeah.
I know at some point I got that footage. DJI 185. I think it's got to be in this somewhere.
I know I have pictures of him.
Yeah, I feel like I flew over it and around him. I've seen the footage. Maybe it's earlier on. No. Down here. Okay.
It's amazing how they brought it all the way down. You can see from there, ground level. You just had it with me in there, bringing it down from ground, like all the way on the quarry, all the way to ground level, and then back up. You know, the thing that people don't realize. Then you still got to bring it all the way back up to the other side.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he was telling it, we didn't get to go look at the ramp over by the temple area, but he was telling us that they used this ramp to bring the stones up there.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. He says there's some stones on the ramp, so we just didn't get to see it.
And okay, I don't know where this video's gone. It must be here somewhere, but I definitely have him going in there and looking at it. Anyway, yeah, let me stop sharing for now. We can come back to that. But yeah,
Well,
quarry was cool.
It was. It was one of the highlights of the trip. And not something I think that, that many other tours or people do. And so it's like, we're going to offer it on the tour as an option. If you feel up to it, this is a tough hike.
Yep.
Ben and I will sit and drink coffee because we've already done it, and you guys can.
I've seen it.
It's a beautiful hike. It's very similar to if you've done the Grand Canyon Angels Flight, where you have the cliff by your side, beautiful landscapes, very intense walking, and there's plenty of places to sit and rest, but you have to be acclimated. Yeah, you take that's the thing, is you just got to walk kind of slower than you would normally think you have to walk.
Yeah, the altitude takes a moment to get acclimated, and we will do that. So the itinerary is essentially, it's a couple of days in Lima. There's things to see around Lima. We're going to Corral, which is a 5,000-year-old pyramid site that's, I think, to the north of Lima. And then we fly to Cusco, but we have an easy, we're there in an evening. The next day in Cusco is going to be the city walk day, which is all of the Inca Roca walls,
Do you have the video of you almost dying? That would be highly entertaining.
Me?
I think.
When did I?
Yeah, the one I got of you where the truck is.
Oh, the truck.
Oh, God, yeah, I did nearly die, didn't I? I nearly got squished by a truck. It was pretty funny.
You physically got squished between a wall and a truck.
I mean, that was coming around a corner, and I just just zipped through. I don't know where that is.
Okay.
It's probably, you use your iPhone, probably?
Yeah, I put it. It's all right.
I nearly died
on the break or something.
So,
No breaks.
In the narrow streets of Cusco.
I was laughing. This was great. I'm like, look at Ben. He's going to die. As he's getting squished by a box truck. Yeah.
And I get up and I'm like, that was close.
Yep. It was close.
Yeah.
I saw that he wasn't going to stop, and so I slid through, and then Ben decided he was also going to slide through.
And I probably should have just gone backwards.
And you maybe should have just waited. Yeah. All of the roads in Cusco were like that. Yeah. It was,
Well, this is Cusco, right? This is what it's like. Actually, I'm sharing. Let me share it again. I mean, this is actually a nice this is a nice street, but they're narrow like this.
Yeah,
right? So
they're narrow. The cars are going
There
right
we go.
past
Here,
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
This is like.
You're constantly managing with vehicles. Yep.
And then trucks in these streets, obviously the box trucks or whatever that are coming through here. It's squeezy.
Yeah.
And you know they're
squeezy.
they drive like Fangio, so yeah, lots of it. Like it's cool. I love Cusco. It's just it's one of those places that's. I don't think there's anything quite like it anywhere else in the world.
It was so awesome, and we were there for like four nights, 5 days.
Yeah,
we just got it. We did a lot of walking around, exploring.
Show me Puma Punku. Let's go.
Okay, Kyle is ready to see Bolivia.
This is actually it, yeah.
There it is. There's me sliding through.
Watch this.
Yes. And then Ben's like, I can do that. Ooh.
Oh my god. That was close.
Damn.
Yeah. You should hear the audio. It's actually I can put the audio on. It's like
Matt's like
It's gonna be loud.
I don't hear it.
Nope. Actually, it's
I'll be right back, guys.
Can you
Keep
hear it?
going on without me.
perfectly silent.
No, we don't hear it.
Oh, hang on. Well, I can fix this.
Yeah, you have to reshare with the audio.
Yeah. Also share audio window.
So we had some questions. While Ben's doing that, we have questions like, how large were the stones from the quarry? Up to 80, maybe 100 tons.
80 to 100 tons. Yeah,
Yep.
we paced them out. You can do you
An estimate.
roughly estimate cubic meters, and it's about 2.8, 2.7 cubic meters per ton. So you sort of pace it out and be all right. But here we go.
Gracias. Oh, there it goes.
That was close.
He's very entertained by that. Has he
Yeah,
noticed how
Matt was
entertained he
incredibly
when we were nearly
entertained.
dying? Yeah. Thought it was great. He's gone now.
Yeah, he left.
He left. I don't see this shit. Yes. Show you what? Puma Punku? Is that what you want to see?
Another question, can you camp up there? That's a good question. I'm not sure you would want to.
You
It
can.
is-
I mean, you do the Inca Trail, right?
Yeah.
People do camp. They backpack.
Yeah, there
I
might
think-
be some good spots on that on the quarry area. I mean, it's pretty rocky, but you might be able to find a good place to sleep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you could do it. You'd find a spot. I mean, there's enough little bit of dry ground, and I mean, just flat ground here and there. You can. I'm sure you could. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be a bad idea to try and do that over 2 days. I don't know if you need. I don't know how the permitting works or anything like that. But I mean,
Yeah.
one thing that Rogelio does do, and this is, look, to be honest, one of the reasons I went down there to talk to him, and because I knew him from way back when, like 2013, and I really was impressed with him then. And mostly what he does is he takes smaller groups and they do the Inca Trail, which
That's
is like
right.
4 or 5 nights. It's backpacking, and I wanted to make sure that we could pull this off with a busload of people, as opposed to sort of 10 people. And we can. I mean, he does that sort of work too. But you could actually, that'd be an interesting way to get up to that quarry. Honestly, is to just do a 2-day. You could do
Yeah.
it in a day. It'd be a long, hard day, but a nicer way to do it might be to do an overnight. Just park, get up to that quarry area and go a
Yeah.
bit higher, whatever.
Camp
rest
out,
and
hang out,
camp out,
and then hike
you've
the
got
rest
all
of
the
the way
next day to get up there and
Come back down. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, it'll come back down. Won't take you long. So what did you yell at me, Kyle? You want me to see what? Puma Punku?
Yeah, bro. What the hell? Stop holding out.
Stop holding out.
Hey, well, I also wanted to mention Guild Stranger from our Discord. I did get boxes
Yeah.
3 and 4, or are they 4? Whatever. And I wanted to show you guys. Huh?
2 and 3, maybe?
Well, the first one was also 2 boxes,
Ah, okay, so
so I'm going to say 3 and 4. And this one's called, it's Fort George Mirrored Realities. It's an India Pale Ale.
There you go.
But I wanted to show you guys how this guy packages beers.
Okay.
Let's-
It's a professional beer
Oh,
packaging.
my God.
Oh, yeah. That's perfect.
Oh, they're individually cut out into the like you've got foam cutouts. Holy crap! All right,
that is good.
That seems that's actually amazing.
It's the most legit beer packaging.
Beer packaging.
This is definitely fancy beers.
Beautiful boxes of beer, sir. Thank you very much.
Oh, we got a great simple Ben story. Says you almost went from Uncharted X to Duncharted X. This is a great. Uncharted X.
Safety first.
Yeah, don't use Matt as your Professor Scheiser safety partner.
Are you there, Matt?
I don't know where he went. He just quit.
Okay, he's back.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys booted me. I don't know what happened.
I was just trying to hide the video when you left, and I guess you can't bring it back on your own.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't use Matt as your safety buddy for sure. I laughed at these guys the whole time. I'm like, oh, you're gonna die. Like at least 5 times. Yeah.
I'll know that somebody is gonna die if Matt's going.
Yeah. I'm highly abused. Sorry. This is my reaction. I'll tell you a quick story. My wife, who you guys know, she gets really ticked off when there's an emergency. And instead of me being really nervous, like, oh God, what are we gonna do? I'm like, it's fine. Or I'm like, we're gonna fix this. Like, that's my nervous reaction. I'm sorry.
I love the laugh in the background of that video. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, he was already. That was day 2, right? That was the second day. That was the first full day we had at Cusco. And so we had just started walking on the streets, and Matt was already like freaking out because of how close the cars were coming to us. He's like, "Oh my God!" And then we get to that one part, and he's like, "Whoa!" Like, it's just entertaining.
Well, he was also freaking out just immediately with the driving because it's like
the traffic. Yeah.
And you and me with each other like this is nothing.
Yeah. It's like
Egypt.
Yeah. Like this is calm driving.
You're in a van, and like I've never experienced this, but your driver, your taxi cab or van driver will just pass everybody all the time. Every cab driver is going to pass 100 people on your journey of 5 miles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Crazy.
Right. Yeah. You go.
They pull into oncoming traffic.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we had Alex. I was just like, oh my God. It was just Alex was like Gran Turismo Alex. We had this one dude driving us on the. And of course, the road down from Cusco that gets into the Sacred Valley is just these switchbacks. It's on this mountain, so I've done it a bunch of times doing classes and stuff, but he was just hauling ass. We're overtaking everyone on the way down. I'm just like,
and there's a sharp turn that it's a blind curve, incredibly sharp blind curve. We're going downhill, and he goes to the other side of the road so that he could take the turn faster. You know, you're just like, you don't know if somebody's coming up the hill or coming the other direction. He doesn't care. He's hauling ass. It was great. I was sitting in the front seat just like, woo!
No.
It was awesome.
Yeah, and I'm just like, Fangio, I'm just shaking my head like, we don't need to be going this fast because it's just uncomfortable. Like, because you just, like,
That's true. Yep. Yeah, you could hear the tires, squeaking.
Everyone drives stick too, so it makes it feel faster because they're going wow, revving out these little engines with their 5 speeds.
Yeah.
Passing 18-wheelers up a switchback U-turn, and you're going, I hope there's not an 18-wheeler coming down the hill. And sometimes there is, and you just they just slow down, and they slow down, go back behind the 18-wheeler, and then go right back to doing what they were doing.
That's right. It's epic. It's a lot of fun.
Did you get this question from Ryan?
Oh yeah, Ryan is asking, is Chaban de Huantar on the itinerary for the tour?
Chaban. Okay.
Yeah, Chaban.
Unfortunately, no. My dad's in the chat like that.
Hey.
Old Ronnie, he's in there. And
all right.
No. So, long story short.
Yeah, we went back and forth on doing this. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's already going to be 15 days. Chaban is just, it would take 2 or 3 days to get up there and do it. And I am going to do it. We will do it, but it'll probably be like a pre-extension optional thing at some point. Not on on this trip, and then the same thing. I think I've talked to some people. We were talking about doing an extension to Easter Island afterwards. We're not going to do that this time either. I want to make sure that we can run this. Excuse me, that we can run this trip and it runs well. Like it's the first time doing a tour in South America. I really like Rogelio. I like the setup down there. I just want to make sure that we can sort of execute on that and make sure that people have the time. It's taken quite a bit of time and effort to put it together as it is, and I think once we have that and it goes well, then it'll be easier. I think next year or whenever we do another one in the future to add on and look at doing things like Easter Island or a pre-trip tour to
Or
like
Nazca, Chavin.
Nazca lines, the Candelabra.
Yeah, there's plenty of stuff in Peru that we are not going to get to on this particular tour, but we're planning on doing more. We just want to get this one done. Like we want to run it, we want it to go smoothly, and then after that we can look at changing things, adding things, whatever.
But we typically, I mean, in the past, for extensions or something like that, people that had already been on the original tour, they can join extensions only.
Yeah, if they want. Yeah.
So if you go this time, but you also wanted to do these future extensions, you'll be able to just do the extensions next time.
Yeah.
You won't have to pay for the whole tour.
Yeah. Like if you haven't done, it's like if you've not toured with us before, then it's like we don't just let people rant. Like for example, the Egypt trip that's coming up, we have an extension to the Red Sea, where it's just basically a rest and relax beach diving sort of Red Sea thing. And I'm like, we want to reserve that for the people that are on the tour. I don't just want people turning up just for the Red Sea. But if you've come with us before and we know you, fine.
Yeah.
There's a couple of people taking action.
Yeah.
Just for the Red Sea. That's all of it. So that's the way we'd like to do it for these extensions and stuff. And I did get another question in here. Pansy just saying, are there lesser known sites that you're excited to see or to share? And yes, like a lot of these sites are going to things like Kui Rimok, Napa Inglesi, Napa Huaca, things like the Quarry. We're also doing, people have an option to do Huayna Picchu at Machu Picchu, which is the big mountain behind Machu Picchu. They only release like a couple hundred pictures a day for people to go and climb that.
Silastani, we're going to see the Chulpa Tower. Well, they call them Chulpa. I'm not sure if they were actually. The Chulpa Towers are based off of these things, but these giant megalithic towers, we're going to go look at those. That's not exactly. I mean, there were people there. It's a well-known site, but that is an excellent place to go see. And it isn't.
Yeah.
It isn't. It's not on the normal beaten path of Peru. There's all kinds of amazing stuff to see there. Over top of the lake, it's closer to Pumapunku and Tiwanaku than the other stuff. So it's very interesting site. You can tell the stonework style is similar, but it's closer to what you see at Pumapunku than it is what you see at Sacsayhuama or Machu Picchu.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, it is. And look, if we have time to, it's going to depend on the last day getting back from. So my itinerary, we're going to end in Bolivia and then we drive back over into Peru, back to the lake, back to Juliaca to catch a flight to Lima. But if we have time on that day, I'd love to go to somewhere like Timbo, which is also another Chulpa Tower place. I mean, I can show you pictures of that if you'd like.
What about Rakichi? Are we going there? Is that how you say
Rakichi?
that?
Rakichi, I think it might be on the itinerary. We'll see.
Look, that one's. There's plenty of sites where it's mostly what you would identify as Inca work, but then down at the base of some of the things, there's like mysterious megalithic or beautiful carved stones. The Rakichi is one of those places. It's almost all Inca work, but then there's a few spots where it looks like the Inca were just adding on to something that was much more ancient that was already there.
Yeah, and look, this is a good point that maybe before I get to Pumapunku, I just want to make real quickly with, let's say, Ollantay Tambo those are the sites that I'm particularly interested in, and I think mostly our audience is too, with the megalithic work, right? Because you just see that, and there's such a clear difference. In places like this, like Ollantay Tambo, where and if I go back a bit, you'll be able to see it here. You have the megalithic work, but then you have the Inca work on top of it. So there's a definite order of construction that happens in Peru that I think relates to probably three distinctly different periods of construction
never the other way around?
Huh?
Is it never the other way
It's
around?
never the other way around. No, it's always Hanan Pacha, which is the monolithic living rock. So this is like Temple of the Moon and Kenko. I mean, I don't know, Russ, what you thought of Kenko, but it's like that place is mysterious.
Yeah.
You know, it's very strange how the living rock is carved. It's not this cellular stuff that we see here on the left. This is and by the way, this is a guy named Jesus Gamara and his father Alfredo. This is their terminology and method of classifying the building styles you see in places like Peru, particularly the Sacred Valley. It does also apply to places like Egypt, and you can find evidence of this all around the world, even like at the Jerusalem, or the temple, the rock, or whatever the thing is. It looks like Namapacha.
Yes. Japan.
Japan. Yeah. So this is an interesting megalithic system, a classification system. I don't buy into the rest of what Jesus Gamara does talk about. If you've read his books, The Cosmogony of the Three Worlds, altered gravity and different timelines. All this crazy stuff.
Yeah, we were closer to the sun, shorter days, less gravity. Yeah.
Yeah, I think his classification system is great, and this is Hancock. I know Jesus. I've met him several times. We spent time with him in Peru. In fact, we could probably give him a call and meet up with him on this tour.
That would be cool.
If he happened to come, I imagine get him out to like Saxe Mama. He doesn't speak much English, but so you have that style. Then you have the megalithic, the traditional cellular megalithic. Uran Pacha, it's called in his system. On top of that, and then on top of that again is the Ikun Pacha. It's the small cobblestone work like you see here, mud mortar. Very much the Inca styles of work. It's very clear and distinct in Peru, in particular, because the Inca, after all, they were really only there for about 150 years. They did have precursor civilizations, but the Inca work is, it's what you might expect from a relatively primitive culture that's waving his camera all over the place. Sorry about that.
That shot was interesting too, because what we're looking at is the top of the wall there, where we're missing blocks. So you can see how the blocks were fitted in.
Multiple blocks fitted up against that one lower stone.
In sections, and it's all, it's all in different layers and levels, and it's amazing. You see this everywhere.
This is Valley Temple, right? This is a smaller scale side of what you see in the Valley Temple, the way they indent blocks in.
Yes.
To then fit and lock in, the other granite blocks. And you've got, this stuff here on the right, this the cobblestone repair work.
Yep.
You can see it's all over here. Look at this, like this.
Yeah, that you can see it.
Slices in it.
Yep.
See if I've got.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is, dude. I can't wait till you see it. It's gonna, you'll love it. I do want to just show you the example of the Ikun Pacha, the Inca work. Sorry about the waving around.
Panning nightmare.
Well, yeah, here's a saw cut.
Well, there's a saw cut.
Yeah. Saw cut on.
Wow.
You can actually see that it's been run down into the bottom here.
That's at the top.
That's at the top. Yeah, this is like a saw cut block.
Man, that's a thin.
Yes.
Thin
cut.
blade.
Yeah. This is not. And a lot of this, I asked, what were the tools they were supposed to have? And we're talking stone tools. These people weren't using copper even. So.
That was 2 credit cards thick. I think that cut. By the way, am I clear now, or are we good?
Yeah, you sound
good, man.
Right. Yeah, you look very.
Yeah, you could do the old landscape.
Do a landscape camera there, man.
It won't work on this technology, bro. I won't do it.
It said when you joined, you joined in portrait mode. So you probably. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. That's right. Yes, we're great. Yeah, so Rogelio's pointing out the Chincana here. We'll get to the Chincana, like the entrance. He said, as kids, this was an entrance. A lot of these sites, and this is like people realize they just had that discovery. It's been known about for a long time that this existed, but they just sort of proved, I guess, that there's a tunnel running between Cusco and Saxe Mama, like this labyrinth, right? They call them Chincanas.
Chincana.
It's a labyrinth. It's an underground thing. There was years and years ago, these students, like 3 or 4 of these students went down in there and they never came out. Like, they died.
Yeah.
They got lost. And now they barred up the entrances to these things because there's literally an entrance to that tunnel in the Torrey Canyon. We went and saw where it was. It's behind a grate. But, you know, Rogelio was saying that as a kid, they've also sealed this up, but there's a lot of these sites have entrances to these gymkhanas. And this is the entrance down here where he would go into. Like, as kids, they'd go and play, and they've since blocked it up.
He pointed one out to us on the mountain when we were climbing up to the quarry site. He said, up. So he pointed like right here. We're walking past a cliff area. And he's like, if you climb up there, you'll see there's an entrance going down. I climbed up, sure enough. It was going down in, but it had collapsed. Right, but he was like, that used to be a tunnel, and it's supposed to connect to all this other stuff. And like, we're on the other side of the valley. It's wild.
Miles and miles going both onto the tops of mountains, through them, all the way down into the valley. We're talking thousands of feet in elevation change, and miles, and they all connected together. I mean,
Yeah, and if that one that he pointed out to us on the quarry side connected to some of this stuff on the temple side, it had to go beneath the river, which is amazing. Right? It's like,
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. Yeah, look at this. Look, I mean, they've closed this area off. It's so silly. I've been in here before, but some of these blocks are amazing. Look at the size of this. Gigantic pink granite block, and you see the same super precise joinery.
that would be over 100 tons, like based off of the based off of our measurements.
And the same type of spalling and decomposition of the stone right there. That's wild.
Look at that pink. You can still see the beautiful rows in that though. I mean, the quarry in person is majestic. There you can see some of it, but imagine a whole mountainside of this beautiful rose granite.
Also, this polished surface that you can see left here, very similar to like what you see on the Serapeum boxes with the.
Yeah, they were probably polished.
Yeah, these were probably a little bit polished.
Oh my God.
You can find it. I can't wait to see your reaction. It's going to be fun watching your reaction to it.
Do you have any videos of us actually when you were amazed when you first touched them because they look rough and you touch them and they're as smooth as.
That was in
That's in Bunku.
Yeah, like it looks rough. You reach down and touch it, and you're like, oh my God! It's like it's like super smooth, but it looks like a rough block.
Yeah, it feels like a seal. You know, if you ever petted seal or dolphin or something, you know, like
smooth as eggs.
Yeah, okay, smooth as eggs. You got your Valentine's eggs. That's good.
Let's see. Tiwanaku. I got some videos, but.
Are we eating? I got some chips over here.
I'm trying not to.
Not anything but chips.
Yeah,
not
eat chips. Don't eat chips,
Please.
Matt. We'll kick you off the stream.
You can have some beef jerky or something.
There we go.
Hungry, I'm sorry.
Sun gates that are laying down like there. You see they have those holes in the bottom? So they were like
Yeah, it's really loud.
But
It's alright, it's probably okay.
My camera
All
works
these
outstanding.
nice andesite blocks.
I know.
Phenomenal at this.
Thank you.
I wonder what happened to
This is Benception, dude. Benception.
That's why I film everything, because I get, there's usually within a 10-minute period of me just doing terrible things, there might be 35, 40 seconds of
Ben,
What my
filming you
videos are made
guys, I had double-handed camera. I'm like standing perfectly still, like this is going to be beautiful footage, and then I replay them like, what? This is all trash.
It's
Like,
trash.
I need a gimbal.
So this is the
I'm sorry.
The phone or with I've got your stuff here. Like you definitely.
Some of the stuff is really clean. The phone
The
stuff.
videos, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Here we are at Puma Punka.
Get your narration.
Our final Bolivian destination. At 12,800
So we did.
feet.
There's gonna be walk and talk footaging.
We are.
Because I did. Me and Russ did strap on microphones for quite a bit of this, and
That's right.
I will sync that footage up, and then I think there'll be some really good just footage of us walking around talking about these sites. I I did one of those videos recently on my channel with Yusuf, where Yusuf and I just mic'd up and did a walk around. People seem to like it, and it's just fun. It's easy.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Content on the
Details are
site.
everywhere here.
It's a genuine sort of look at
Big
some of the
girls.
stuff that
There's flat
people like.
surfaces. These.
We're hearing the audio, and it's hard to hear you with the audio of the video going.
So I don't know if there's like parts where we touch stuff, but there's definitely.
There is. There's parts where we touch it. We're starting to touch things here. There's very smooth vertical surface here. There you go.
Perfect.
Yeah, pretty loud audio.
Oh yeah. Perfect. Wow. Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful work.
Yeah, so this is, I mean, I don't know, my volume's 20, but
I don't know why, but it's super loud over here.
Yeah, so this is the crazy thing, and this is all andesite, right? So this isn't soft stone. You have two types of stone generally, Pumapunku, andesite, and red sandstone. The big pieces behind here are red sandstone. It's probably one of the biggest pieces on site. It's like 200 plus tons, I think, some of it.
The one behind that one tilted.
Yeah.
And that's a guy.
I was just gonna say that one that we were just looking at it looked like sandstone because of the way it was kind of worn.
Yeah, this is what I'm gonna say is from an inexperienced person looking at these types of ancient stone and ancient megaliths, it looked like it would feel like sandpaper, and like it was smoother than eggs. It was definitely like rubbing a snake one way, like the smooth way. It was like super smooth, like supple leather or silk. It was that, incredible.
Yeah, and then you see stuff like this where it's like, what are you guys doing? Like, why?
Yeah, what is it?
Just showing off here? I mean, there's so much of those, just these perfect kind of 90-degree turns, and everything's sharp and clean. And then I was off looking, and you're actually standing on top of a manufacturer. The whole thing's built. Like, this is a big, giant, flat top pyramid, essentially, or some sort of ziggurat.
Oh, really? This is an earthen. It's an earthen mound.
Well, I don't. It's probably stone. I think this is either midden or this place was like mud.
It's just covered in sediment or something.
Yes, and well, the lake did something happened here. It was probably a flood that did this. That came from the lake. And yeah, you look down here, like the same as the Callias, not the Callias Society. What's the step pyramid on the other side called? The Akapana.
So that whole channel, all that's built. This is part of the structure here. All this stuff that we're looking at down there.
The wall is a new excavation.
Right, but you can see on the inside that there's it looked like old stone.
It's really annoying, these ropes here. I have walked this whole channel, and then you can see stuff like this, which is great. Machine ends.
So this whole that's crazy. There had to be some kind of inundation to bury all that stone and all that sediment.
I think there's strong indication that something catastrophic happened to this site. It was on the lake shore originally. There's a strand line that runs right through here where essentially Tiwanaku was an island on the lake.
That's what I was going to ask. Is there any geological data on the strata of this soil?
Good question.
That would be interesting.
I don't know about the specific geological data of the strata. I know that guys like Poznansky have dug into it and they found fossils that go back to the Pleistocene. So
Could
there
be,
is,
yeah.
These things sort of get dismissed with the mainstream. There's carbon.
Well, I'm wondering more or less that is it stratified or is it?
Thank
like
you for being here. Happy Valentine's Day. Never forget how important you are.
The locals told
That
us
the
about
rarest
the
Pepe is
stratification
you.
all the way
You.
On the other side of Lake Titicaca on the mountains. It would come all the way over in this basin in a huge circle. And like Ben was saying, some of this land would have been actually an island, which would have put this location and other locations to being much older, right? Like when were they when was the lake much deeper?
Yeah, well, that's the interesting thing about the strand line. This is the strand line that, strand lines of water causes them to wave action and take a long time to create. Strand line and obviously it's level when it's created, but this is the thing that H.S. Bellamy reported in his book, like written before it's called Before the Flood. It's a tilted strand line. So now there's like they follow the strand line 300-400 miles, and but it tilts now. It's got this distinct tilt to it, a couple degree tilt to it, which is a geological uplift. That's how long does that process take to tilt a strand line? Because evidently, I think this makes perfect sense that this place was a harbour, or it was a port on the lake, and this is, I think, even more or less what a lot of mainstream folks do say about it. There's a lot of features here that make it look like it was a harbour, and if that's the case, then the strand line that was created when it was on the lake, how long does that take for a geological process to tilt it to the degree that it's been tilted? I don't know if that's something that happens in 500-600 years, which is, the orthodox dating for this place is what,